Welcome to Scripts and Giggles with Shoshana
and Marnie. Why did the whole podcast like that?
We won't have a podcast for very long if we kept on talking like that.
In this voice.
I don't think you can even maintain that voice.
I could.
Alright, Beyonce.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. We've been experiencing some much needed heat in the UK.
No, I don't know if it was much needed, babe.
I mean, perfectly honest, it's been cold for a while. Like May was supposed to be giving, and it's only now we're now in June, and we're finally.
Why would May be giving? May is springtime.
No, I feel May is the start of summer.
May is springtime to me. March, April, May is spring.
But May wasn't even giving you spring; it was giving you cold.
It was giving spring.
It wasn't giving spring.
Spring ain't supposed to be hot.
Spring's supposed to be a cool breeze, and it was just cold breeze.
And then June, July, and August is summer. September and October's autumn. Winter is November, December, January, February.
Thank you for telling us the months of the year and the seasons, but I'm just glad that we're getting some heat. Like, we need to up our vitamin D. Some people already have vitamin D in their life, but, you know, sometimes it's just good to get some real much needed natural vitamin D from the sun.
You can also get them from supplements.
Yeah, and with sun cream as well.
No,
make sure you have sun cream on if you're getting that vitamin D.
I don't wear sun cream on all of my body, just on my face.
Really? I put sun cream where it's going to be exposed.
I want a tan.
But you know you can still get a tan when you wear sun cream.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you can.
Well, the truth is I just don't have sun cream. I have sun cream for my face and it's a little tiny tube. I'm not using that on my body. What a waste. Do you know how expensive that sun cream was?
Wait, for real though?
Yeah.
No, I think the thing is, some black people, not even us, black people believe that their skin is some type of barrier. Like, you can still get sunburn if you're black. I've seen it.
Not me.
It ain't pretty. When I went on holiday and I was with a whole bunch of white people and everyone got sunburnt, I laughed. When I came back, my skin was peeling. Sunburnt.
Or maybe you were a leper.
I'm not a leper. I wasn't a leper. I had put sun cream on that day, but I was in the water. No, it wasn't leprosy. I put sun cream on that day, but I was in the water.
Dry skin.
I do have a bit of that though.
Well, the jury is out then as to whether or not you were sunburnt. We don't have the proof yet.
No, I know it was sunburnt because it was just peeling in the places where I was more exposed. The parts of my body that was exposed in the water. Because when you're in the water, that's when you can get some fast tan, but the sunburn is real.
We were kind of in water this weekend.
You bringing out a water gun is not us being in water. But it was a good idea
Some
though.
people were wet.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I was.
Exactly, so I think it counts.
Okay, for context, we went to go and have like a summer I was going to say barbecue.
No, it was a picnic.
Yeah, it was like a continental picnic at a friend's.
Charcuterie.
Yeah, it was very nice. Very
good decision.
What is it?
Good decision.
Yeah, and it was very like mature, and it was supposed to be a mature day in the sun, and then Marnie was like, "Oh, why don't we bring water guns?" As if we are not grown women.
Tell the truth. I didn't say that. I said everyone bring bikinis because you're gonna get wet.
Yeah, but then you also said I'm gonna bring a water gun.
Yeah, I said I'm gonna bring a water gun.
And if you're bringing a water gun, where's that water gun aiming at?
No, but the point is you're making it seem like I said we should all do it. No, I said you're free to not bring any protection.
Last week you said, when I came in to do the record, she said, "Oh,
I've bought a water gun.
You bought a water gun, get yours." And I was like, "There's no way I'm buying a water gun."
Yeah, that was me as a friend helping you. I was saying, listen, I am going to shoot you guys. This is your warning, your 10-minute warning. If you don't want to be unarmed, get a water gun. And you said, no, I'll just bring a change of clothes.
No, I brought a change of clothes and I said, I'm just going to do old style water fight kind of technique, which was just bring a water bottle and splash.
How many fights have you actually had in your life though?
Quite a few.
And you only use water bottles?
Pretty much. I never had well, actually, I had one of those like cheap, crappy water guns. Like and also one that you have to keep on like running to go and fill up because it's like tiny.
Yeah, I had a water gun. I had like balloons. Every summer when I was a kid, we would have a water fight like once a week.
Once a week? No, it was, and also
And it'd be like the whole estate would get involved. Like kids that you don't usually play with.
They'll just come out.
Yeah, everyone would be like, it's a water fight, it's a water fight. So then people go in their house and like get whatever things they got, bucket, whatever. Just be hiding at the top of the stairs and then just dash it over you.
Yeah, the buckets come out. But the thing is with water fights, it's never scheduled. It was like...
No, it's a date of. Somebody... basically, the way it would work was someone's parents have clearly just bought them a water gun. So they're out with their water gun and someone's like, what? We doing a water fight? Everyone's running back up the stairs.
Yeah.
Mum, I need my water gun. She's like, don't get your hair wet. You just got it. I'm like, I'm not going to get my hair out immediately. Get my hair wet.
Of course. No, I think...
But you have to stay outside long enough for it to dry before you get home. Otherwise...
You're done. Yeah, the slaps are real.
Slaps.
No, I think with most of the water fights I've been in, it's been spontaneous. It's like we're playing, joking around. All of a sudden, a water bottle is brought out and splashed someone, and it's like, well, war has begun. And then that's when the water fight begins. And then you do the chase and run back to home, try and get all your equipment and your weaponry, and like, I'm ready for it. Splash, splash.
Did you remember when there was a water fight scheduled when we were at school, and everyone had been talking about it for like days? So there's going to be a big water fight, there's going to be a big water fight. They'll go to the park near our school. Girls from our school, girls from the boys' school. It was going to be the biggest water fight. And we obviously did not go to the water fight.
No, we did not.
We weren't those kind of girls.
No.
But we were walking home, and a teacher drove up and was like, where are you guys? Where are you girls going? And we were like, home. And she was like, where's the water fight? We were like, what water fight? She's like, we know about the water fight. Where's the water fight? If we see you guys out here throwing water, like, they were patrolling up and down South London trying to catch girls.
I don't know, fam. This is when you know your job is good. This is not part of your job description, basically.
Trying to catch girls going home. Listen,
splashing water on themselves.
If school's finished,
what's it got to do with you?
You're in your school uniform, so you need to represent the school. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You let us go at 1 p.m.
Was it strawberries and cream?
No. Let us go at 1 p.m. If I decide to, do you know what? It wasn't strawberries and cream.
For reference, strawberries and cream was when it was the end of year 11.
Yeah.
And
we had to dress up.
And we had to dress up and celebrate the end of secondary school as we knew it, or end of secondary school before our exams.
It might have been, but I don't think it was, because I think I would have got in trouble for cutting up my skirt the day that we broke for exam period. Yeah. It wasn't that day though.
It wasn't, okay. I know what day. I know that there was a water fight.
Because I was in the park that day, so they couldn't have seen us at another park.
I do remember there was a water fight planned. I do remember that the teachers were out there trying to stop it.
They said no one's getting wet on my watch.
But I also do remember that I was not part of that. Like with most stuff that happened at school, when there's trouble, I'm out of there. Peace.
Yeah, Shoshana would literally light the match and then be like, bye.
I would never light the match.
And the next day, like, what's going on?
No,
guys?
I never lit the match.
I'm so confused. What's going on? I'm like, somebody set fire to the school. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm doing my work now. That's actually not true, because the next day Shoshana would be running into the classroom trying to be like, I'm not late, miss. I came in just on time. She's like, this is the 4th time you're late, Shoshana. You're getting detention.
The only time I got detention was really for being late. And then like, it was one time. Week. Yeah, it was a bit. You
were late every damn day.
I'm really learning. I've been trying to learn to.
That's why I didn't make you head girl, because your attendance and punctuality was... Well, your attendance was fine, your punctuality was awful.
Yeah, but I don't think that mattered.
I think it mattered.
No.
Because when I spoke to the board, because I was obviously on the board, I said, listen...
Were you on the flipping board?
Of course I wasn't on the board. Why on earth would they put me
on the board? I was thinking, like, where did you come out from?
As a board member...
Because if it was a board member, you would make yourself head girl.
Yeah, I'd be like, why don't we do something absolutely radical? And even though I didn't apply, make me head girl. They'd be like, that sounds brilliant.
I'm actually finished.
No, they would never. They might have let me on a board, but I don't think they would have let me be head girl.
No, I don't think they would have.
Wow, hater.
I'm not being a hater. No,
wow, hater.
They would have had you on as head girl as like the redemption story. Like you could be from being a bad naughty kid to like
from rags to riches.
Yeah.
LOL. I was no.
You weren't that bad.
Be fair, yeah, I was not bad at school.
You were just naughty.
Impish.
Oh, flipping egg.
Impish.
I don't know.
Not naughty.
No, I don't know. But yeah, let's just say, I don't know how we got to this point. Water fights. It was a good time then. Surprisingly, we had a good time over the weekend with a water fight. as grown adults with a dog, which I was.
So,
yeah.
Is this you officially saying on the pod the water gun was a good idea?
Yeah, I agree. It ended up being a great idea. You know why? Because it was so freaking hot.
Yes, that's why I said we needed the water gun.
Yeah, the thing is, I wasn't in my head. I was just thinking about the whole like logistics. Like the girls gonna wet my hair. 2, like just being wet, and then 3, I have to bring a change of clothes.
The thing is, I knew after like when I got, because I listened to it, I got shocked.
Oh yeah, our other girly friend Caroline made sure she brought the water gun, and her gun was much powerful than yours.
Exactly, so you should have actually wished that nobody bought a gun but me, because mine was kind.
Yeah.
When she shot me, and then like I would say within 5 minutes I was dry. I was like, this was a good decision.
It was good. Yeah,
it was so hot that like you wouldn't even stay wet for long.
It's true. Only when it started to get a bit cooler, I was like, okay, I need to change out my clothes. And then I was bit by mosquitoes. Wasn't fun, but we move.
And we are about to move on to pop culture
news.
Pop culture news this week. We're talking about Love Island.
Summer of Love.
Ugh.
Again.
There's no love happening yet.
I know. I'm okay. Full disclaimer: I'm struggling to connect with Love Island at the moment, but I think it's mainly because of time. But that being said, the viewership is also struggling to keep up with Love Island.
I think I don't know what it is, but it feels like it's either on too early this summer.
That's what I said.
Or like the weather is too good at the moment that nobody wants to be at home.
I agree.
Like it's at 9 o'clock. It's still daytime outside. I want to be at a bar. I want to be out with my friends. I don't want to be at home watching 22-year-olds being like, what's he said to her? Like I don't care.
Or you go on Facebook and you see the auntie, not aunties. You see the Karens saying that
it's too urban.
It's too urban. It's straight out of Compton on Love Island, not in Spain, in Compton. But I'm loving the cast. I'm just I don't have enough time to really invest in the cast.
So I'm actually watching it usually in the morning now. Like I can't, like if I cannot commit to 9 o'clock every after the evening. I can't do that.
Well, you watching it on the way to work?
I'm watching it in the morning as I'm getting ready for work.
Okay, that's a good
Because like Love Island is not something you need to be glued to your TV.
Oh no,
so you can walk in and out of the room and like do your makeup and just be listening to it in the background. So that's what I've been doing. On
ITV, can you watch stuff on like 1.5
I
speeds?
don't know. I don't think so. You can't even. So you know how on the iPhone it has a feature where you can watch something while you're on another app.
Yeah.
You can't do that with ITV.
Oh, come on, ITV, get with the time.
Literally,
you can do that on Netflix.
More often, if I could do that. But because you're not letting me do that, the only time I could do it is in the morning because I'm busy doing something else. And there's no way I'm sitting through an episode of Love Island and I can't be on my phone. I need to be on my phone.
Yeah, no, because
it is not a show that you watch.
I do my life admin when I'm watching certain shows. Honestly, like cooking and watching TV is like one of my favourite things to do because I'm like, the show I watch, like I know that I can binge it and watch and enjoy. I mean, some of the show that we're going to review later on, I did that, but at the end, I paid attention. I sat down and was like, oh really, eating my popcorn, but imaginary popcorn. But Love Island is not one of those shows. Mm-mm. Plus it's every day and it's going to be on to what, August or end of July. I just don't. That's why I'm worried. I just don't.
Long time.
I'm worried whether I should just like commit for a few more, like try and commit.
I think you should get into it because you know Love Island gets really boring in the last like 2 weeks. Yeah. So it's not like then's not the time to commit. Yeah. So if you get into it now and then it gets to that time, you'd be like, I'm out, but this has been fun. Do you want me to update you? Yeah, let's get to it. I will say that I have seen a lot of TikToks, and TikTok has really helped me with some of the summary of the key beats. So you can fill in the gaps of what's been going on, or I can at least. So where we left off last week was Zach was with Catherine, Mitch was with Molly, but I didn't really care for Molly. No. Because she was starting to doubt. She was starting to doubt, and like I just think her being an actress has just immediately put the wrong taste in. Oh, she's the actress. I thought it was Jess. She's put the wrong taste in my mouth. Like I just don't think, even if the person is an actress, you should not intro them that way. Yeah. Keep it to yourselves. Because as soon as I know that, I'm like, she's fake. Even if she's not being fake, how can we trust her? She's an actress. Jess was with George, but rip George, he's gone.
That was needed, and we predicted that he would be out.
George was gone. It was really awkward though. The day of, so on Friday, obviously they announced them like someone's going home tonight, and George was like, "Yeah, do you know what? I'm really feeling Whitney all of a sudden," because he kind of knew that the deciding vote was with her.
Yeah.
And then they had this moment together where he's doing his top dad jokes, and she was laughing, and I was like, "Whitney, if you keep this guy,
No, please, for
Whitney,
real.
if you keep this guy." But I feel like she played it in a way that was like, maybe I'll pick him, maybe I won't, then picked Maddie.
Yeah, I mean, perfect. And it's also outside of Love Island, there has been allegations around George and his comments online.
Yeah, but I think even
comments.
if you watched it, it felt very much like he felt throughout the show like a man who was desperate to be on the show.
Oh, 100%.
And in that moment, it felt like he was desperate to be kept in the show.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody watched that and thought he must really have feelings for her.
No.
And that was before I knew about these rumours. I was just like, I simply do not buy this.
Yeah, I found him the most irritating the first week. It's just something about him which I thought in the photos, and again, the photos can be deceiving, but I thought he would be quite like, he'd be the man of the house and everyone will kind of like galvanise around him and really like him and he'd be like one of the people, but he honestly ended up being a bit of a dickhead and being like, you know, lads, and it's just not doing it.
I also think like he spoke in a way that was just so irritating as well, like half slang, mostly slang, but like just out of the wrong person's mouth. Yeah. It just felt so wrong every time he opened his mouth. So guy's gone. Jess is now with this guy called Sammy. Essex Live 22, turkey teeth as she wants.
How old is Jess again?
Don't ask me, I'm not good with ages. He was feeling Molly as well as Jess.
Well,
they came back to the villa. Mitchell's going crazy because the guy said to him, like, the person I had the best chat with was Molly.
Yeah.
Molly's like, I don't get what the problem is. Like, we're open, I can get to know whoever I want. But Mitchell's like, I'm not open, that's the problem. How do you not understand what the problem is here? You're saying you're open, and that's fine for you, but I'm not open. I'm saying you're the person I want to be with. So if you don't want to be with me, let me know so I can, you know, go live my life. Anyway, he's been saying that in several different variations since Friday. On Friday, we thought, oh, she's going to pick either Sammy or Zach, who she's been talking to, but she chose Mitchell.
Oh. Safe choice.
Chose Mitchell.
Safe choice.
Catherine coupled up with Zach. She was like, he's a very sweet speech. He was like, I'm really starting to feel feelings for you. At the same time, he's having all these secret chats with Molly. On Monday, they have a challenge. And Zach, everybody kisses their person they're coupled up with. And
I watched that episode,
kisses Molly. In front of Catherine's own eyes, in front of Catherine's own face. Catherine's fuming, she's like, I'm done with this now, I don't want to be with you. Andre, who's coupled up with Richie, is like, this is great for me.
Because he still wants Catherine.
He's now gone to Richie and said, I want to get to know Catherine.
What? I still think, and maybe I said it on the pod a couple of weeks back, but I still think that Andre and Richie is endgame. I honestly think so.
Richie likes Andre.
Yeah.
Andre maybe likes Richie.
Oh no.
I think he was starting to move to her, but clearly he really, really likes Catherine.
Yeah.
Because despite Catherine going with someone else,
he's still there.
He's now back. He's back. I don't know if Catherine likes him though.
I don't think so. Okay, two things. One,
because she spoke to him once after she got back with Zach.
No,
she got with Zach.
Catherine
said deuces.
Yeah, Catherine is one of the top girls in the whole villa. She's beautiful. She can't dress. She can't dress.
She can't dress.
I think she's got great personality though.
Yeah, lovely personality. Honestly, lovely girl. Cannot dress.
What are you wearing in Love Island? Bikinis?
She can't dress.
Okay,
going back and watching that. When they're doing the parties,
yeah,
Catherine's always wearing something that you're like.
So she has the body, doesn't she?
If I can't see the goods, what's the point of the goods?
But as someone who has up and down, I would prefer to cover up and down.
And if you were on the show, I'd say the same thing. You can't dress.
Yeah, but you probably will. You probably say it now.
Like, why is this girlie out here? You've got secret boob, secret bomb. Who's the secret? You're on television. Why are we do secret boob,
You don't
secret
need-
bum.
you don't-
Show
no,
us the bum, show us
No,
the boob.
not everyone needs to see everything.
You don't need, but the thing is, you can also dress modestly. Like, I'm not saying that the only way to dress is to be getting your tits out, getting your bum out. No, you can dress modestly, but you have to dress for your shape to really, you know,
true.
complement your body. You can
True.
dress to complement your body and not show all of your goods. I think she consistently puts on clothes that swamps her.
Okay,
Like when they had a denim night, why is she wearing a denim vest down to here and then jorts? What is happening?
What's shorts? Like long shorts?
Yeah.
Oh.
I said I don't like this. And all of you girls are snakes for letting her come downstairs like
Let me
this.
have I'm just gonna see if I can find a photo of
She
her.
can't dress. She actually can't dress.
I actually see if I can find a photo of her. Oh no! Oh no! Maybe she just
But
doesn't
she's
have.
young as well. She's got time to figure it
there
out.
it is. Ew, I just saw the photo.
Tell me that it looks like an outfit that you want to put on.
I'll put the outfits. The most annoying things I probably would have worn that outfit. But no, he's looking great. Whitney's looking so
You're
good.
the girls who can't dress.
Whitney's looking great.
Catherine and Shoshana.
No,
Number
Rushi, actually, you know what? If I was going to wear any outfit, it'd be Rushi's
Rushi
outfit.
dress good and has good body.
Yeah. Oh, Catherine does not look great.
No, Shoshana, you know I would never let you go outside looking like that.
I don't think it's that bad.
She's like a linebacker.
It's looking a bit boxy.
Yeah.
Boxy is the best way to describe
And I would
it.
never back my friend to go out looking like a box.
But, but you know who I also like the outfit?
Who?
Whitney. I like the top.
She looks like a brat store.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
That's a compliment.
But Rushi is the one that's giving. I think if
If I was
Rushi...
gonna wear any outfit, it would be
What, Rushi? No, Molly.
Ella's.
Oh yeah, that's cute.
It's
I
cute.
think if
Simple.
Rushi had a bit more some straps on her top, I'm there. Catherine is the most comfortable and safe.
Catherine's dress needs to be a strap. It needs to be like a tank top.
Yeah, it needs to be strapless.
Then it would be a bit nicer. But those sleeves, honey, it's giving cowboy.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
No. Oh no.
It's so ugly.
Oh no.
It's so ugly. I thought she was wearing jorts. It's a dress.
Yeah, I wish it was a full dress.
It's a dress.
It's not the greatest thing she's ever worn in her life.
She can't dress. Go through all those photos and find me one photo where that girl's dressed good. She can't dress. And it's fine. Not everyone can dress.
Yeah.
It's not by force. That's why most people have stylists.
Yeah, but she's not down that level yet.
And she's young. Sometimes you don't know how to dress. Like, she strikes me as a person who's kind of like only just come into this body a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. She probably just... I mean, she's young, but yeah. Give her some time. She'll be able to come back
But
to
I
it.
don't think I would have had the confidence to dress how I dress now when I was 19. When I was 19, I was like, the hottest things you could wear short skirts and like big chunky boots.
But I feel like you've always had like a level of style.
You're right. I shouldn't pretend I don't.
Whereas
Okay, but when I was in secondary school, I was like, what, puffer jacket?
yeah.
I was dressed like in your traditional South London rude it girl outfit. Like,
I mean, secondary school I think was a different story. We had no money, we had no time.
skinny jeans,
Yeah.
eyeliner,
Yeah. I think for me, I mean, I
plugged
know.
hair too. That's broken too beyond repair. Like,
I think secondary school I knew I didn't dress well because I didn't have the time, didn't have the
I
money.
cannot even imagine you in clothes. I can only imagine you in school uniform.
Yeah, that was most of my time anyway.
Yeah.
And then when I think it's only the last only my 20s, especially when I was going to work, that I started to dress a bit more for me or what I think that I found comfortable, and I always used to get praised by it. Maybe not from you, but my siblings always, my sister always said that I had a great elegant style, and I love that for me. I love that for me.
I'm not laughing because of that.
My younger sister
I
said
just think
like,
it's really funny to call a person who's in their 20s elegant. Like, you're...
elegant.
like an old auntie. You're just very elegant.
No,
That's what I feel like my dad says to me whenever I wear something very modest. She's like, this is nice. You start very elegant. Grandma, I look like a granny.
yeah, but my mum and my sister always said that I had an elegant style.
Yeah, but it means that you dress like a granny.
Fine. It's elegant. I think
Someone said I look like a rich aunt today. I was like, I think that counts
you know
as
what?
elegant.
I think that's elegant, yeah.
Yeah, I think that counts as
The
elegant.
rich auntie? Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I think that I think I dress to I dress to what I find comfortable. I know that there's things I could wear that's a bit more risky to show more of my body, but I'm also very conscious that I don't want to show my body. That's for my husband.
You would still not be able to dress even if you showed all of your body. Sorry, that sounded really rude. What I meant to say is, the answer to, I feel like people always think the answer is, yeah, so start just wearing a skimpy dress and now you've got style. You still don't have style, you're just more exposed.
Yeah.
Where will you feel comfortable in?
And that's the thing.
That's rule number one. Like, your style is like you figuring out what you feel comfortable in and then just like elevating those pieces over time. It's not you suddenly being like, right, I've heard that hot people look like Kim Kardashian, so let me go and buy Fashion Nova dress and put it on my body, and then I'm going to look uncomfortable at the club. No.
I think half of the time I look dressing well is confidence. Because I know that the outfits that may not be like conventionally the best outfits, but I know I'm putting it off because I feel the most confident in them. I feel the most comfortable. Like, comfort is key above everything else. It may not look like high street or runway fashion, but I feel comfortable in it, and that's the most important thing.
I think, everyone's been there where they see someone wearing something that they own. I've just been, as in not even they own, like 2 pieces that they own, not specifically own. Sorry, that's not very clear. Like somebody wearing jeans and a top, the way that you wear jeans and a top, but suddenly on them it looks like $1 million, and you're like, what's the deal? It's like, oh, they're just really feeling themselves today.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta really feel yourself.
Honestly.
Like, I'm just wearing jeans and a t-shirt, but I fucking feel it.
Yeah, honestly. So
my butt looks good. My boobs look good.
Yeah.
My bag matches my shoes.
Yeah.
I'm living life.
Honestly. So that's how I've seen, like, that's how I felt my style has evolved. Not about my style, it's more about Catherine, but...
Yeah, but I just think Catherine needs some time.
Yeah.
I mean, Catherine comes out of Love Island and she does, like, 360 turn because she gets, like, a PLT deal suddenly.
I think Catherine will be a big name that comes out of the show. Her and Whitney. I mean, the black girl is going to come and...
I think Richie will be the one to get the deal, though, because she dresses really well.
You think?
And she's pretty.
Yeah, she is. But she's... From the episodes I've saw, she doesn't give much personality.
No, but Richie is giving what some of the black girls in previous seasons have given, which is nothing.
Yeah, true.
They've come, they're like, listen, I'm hot, I don't have to do nothing. I'm just going to sit here.
But India did that last year and it worked for her. Like, she was like...
That's what I mean. Sometimes you
yeah.
I feel like there have been a history of black girls. Before her, the girl who was with that black guy who... She was like, oh, why are you so obsessed with me?
Not Dami...
They were both Ghanaian, I remember.
Yeah, and they're still together.
No, they're not. Him and Priscilla are not together now.
Oh, Priscilla and the other guy.
Yeah, no, but the girl he was with before Priscilla.
Oh yeah, that girl. You always mention her. I have no idea who she is.
She is my fave. She was also just like she was clearly, lots of people have told this girl she's pretty.
Oh yeah.
In life, so she came here thinking that she was gonna walk here.
And that's it.
And collect.
Yeah.
And now she's stuck with this guy who she doesn't stand.
Yeah.
And she just is. I'm not gonna give me nothing.
No.
I loved her. I live for black girls who give us nothing. I really do. Come on TV and give me nothing. I love it.
I'll be honest, if you come on a show...
gives us nothing. Richie would be like, yeah, that was really rude actually.
Huh?
This is the first time I've ever heard you speak.
Yeah, come on. I mean, that being said, the history of girls of colour on this show has not been great, so perfectly honest, I wouldn't even do the most.
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't do the most.
That's why I like Whitney. She's doing too much. Chill.
Yeah.
But I know Whitney's there to secure the bag. That's why she's doing all of this.
I think Whitney's also going to come out being... So her wig business is going to fly.
Yeah, she's going to be fine.
Yeah. The wig business that Beyonce should be doing. Because the hair care line, every time I think about it, like, this hair care line, why are you bringing out a hair care line?
Because, no, you're not being fair, because obviously she must be oiling her scalp.
I'm sure she is, but no one's seen her scalp.
To keep her edges. Yeah, exactly. So she's saying this is hair care for you to use when you're wearing wigs.
That's how she has to position it now. But perfectly honest, when Rihanna was selling Fenty, we saw the face. We saw the product.
Yeah, but did you believe that Rihanna put on her own makeup?
She showed us how she was doing it. I think that, okay, let's be honest.
Before Fenty came out, did you think she was painting her own face?
Probably not. She was she probably not. But when Fenty came out, she was like, let me show you how I would do it. Because I know how to put my own makeup on. I
would say the same thing. I don't know what the hell I'm doing when I put makeup on. But if I did a makeup line, I'd be like, yeah. Because I would get the stylist to show me what to do.
All I'm going to say, Fenty makes sense for Rihanna because she's shown us.
And Beyonce's hair is iconic, so she's making a hair care line.
Why did she not do a wig line or a hair line for the wigs? Because the girl's hair stays snatched when she's shaking.
We're not talking about Beyonce now.
Okay, let's move on.
We need to move on.
Every single week we're talking about Beyonce. We're going to move on.
We need to leave
But all I'm going to say is this, like...
She's collecting money off our backs. And that's not right.
100%.
That's not right.
talking of the boys, there's been a bit of a renaissance of my thoughts towards them. No pun intended with Beyonce. Zachariah, last week, I was there going, he seems interesting. I mean, I did kind of criticize why he was the only white guy who was there for the girls of colour. But then he showed me that he's not. And also that he's like a typical... He's not the rest of them.
No, in his defence, he said, there's something about Molly.
Blonde hair, blue eyes. Go on, Hitler.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I said it every single season and I stand by it. I'm not changing it at all. I'm not changing it. Why are you laughing? I'm being honest. Go on.
I feel like you need to finish whatever rant you want to start.
No, I'm done with my rant.
What is the problem with Zach specifically, right? Zach and Molly are both people who, granted, it has been a week.
Yeah.
Right? So no one should be like, I'm settled, I'm whatever. That is fair, that's completely fair. Mm-hmm. For some reason, though, the two of you are still conducting yourself like dickheads. If you're saying that nobody owes anybody nothing, right? Why can't you operate openly in plain sight?
Yeah.
Why can't you say to, Catherine, I'm going to go and talk to Molly now because you and me, we're mates.
Yeah.
How can you be telling Catherine I'm getting feelings for you that night? The next day you're telling Molly, you're telling the boys, if they ask me to recouple right now, I'm recoupling with Molly.
Be for real.
It's hella disrespectful. Then when you've kissed someone else in front of her, she's come to you now, you're saying, I'm not going to apologise because I don't think what I did was disrespectful. Yeah, selfish, but I've got to look out for me.
Oh, run away.
Every day, this is what I mean, the producers really be putting people in danger because if I was Catherine and you sat across from me and you said to me, I'm not going to apologise to you because at the end of the day, I did what I needed to do. I'm jumping in. I know for a fact this is why I can never be on Love Island. They're going to have to call the police to get me off that show.
True. I mean...
In what universe are you talking to me like that?
Yeah.
And it's because she's not from London.
No, she's not.
Because she's a Dublin sweetheart. Because who the fuck do you think you're talking to? About, I'm not going to apologise to you because I don't think I did nothing wrong. Then he's calling is everyone in here stupid, man? Everyone's a donut. Oh, you guys living on the same planet as me. You come from the real world. I've talked to a girl. What's wrong with that? Because you didn't just talk to a girl. You kissed somebody in front of my face.
Yeah.
And then not even you're the one coming up to me straight up. Because that's what I would do. If I was with someone, I was with someone else, and I kissed them, I'll pull the other person for a chat and be like, listen, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I am feeling him, and I need to figure out what that means. But I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want to lead you on. It's not hard to say sorry.
Yeah. It's too late to apologise now.
Molly, equally, is like, I don't really get what the problem is because I feel like I'm open. Tell Mitchell you don't like him, then.
Yeah, fam. You
just tell him you don't like him because you're trying to be like, I want to know Mitchell, but I want to know this person. You can't have all of it.
No, the girls want to keep our options open.
He said to her, you can't have your cake and eat it. She said, I don't like that phrase. Of course you don't like the phrase because you do want to have your cake and eat it.
Honestly. And
but what
is that the cake you want to eat, though?
What's really interesting as well is the other girls now don't like her.
Yeah.
So Jess was really stirring the pot last night. She's like to Mitchell, if I want to have that, you should pull her for a chat because that's not on. She can't do that.
Oh, no.
She's like, I'm pissed off now. So then her and the girls went into the kitchen. Molly's been talking to Zach for apparently 2 hours, according to the girls. She comes over. Jess is like, she's like, oh, Jess, are you alright? She's like, no, actually, I'm quite pissed off. I think you need to talk to Mitchell because it's not on what you're doing. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll go and talk to him. She goes to Mitchell. He's like, don't come and talk to me. I don't want to talk to you right now. And then Molly goes back and she's like, thanks, Jess, for giving me the heads up. I'm like, Jess stirred the pot for
you. 100%.
So, yeah, after Jess stirs the pot with Mitchell, Zach comes over and tries to sit with the boys. And Mitchell's just like, don't sit next to me.
Oh,
I don't want to talk to you. You're a snake. Fuck off, you're a dickhead. And Zach gets up. Do you know what it was so good? Because Zach sort of strikes you as like the hard man because he's from South London and he's tall and all of this stuff. He's got the accent, you know what I mean? Mitchell said, get up.
No.
And he got up. He said, don't sit here, get up.
I'll tell you, Zach is nothing.
Get out of here.
Oh, God.
I was like, low-key, this is kind of hot. Yeah. But also, it's not because... I don't know. There's a part of me being like, you're really acting up over this girl you've known her for a week.
Yeah.
Like, how much of this is just you being upset that you've lost, and how much of it is that you actually like her?
I think half of it is like the losing of it. That being said, when I saw Molly and Mitchell together, and know it's on looks alone, but I was like, this could be Endgame. I was like seeing Endgame already, and usually with Love Island, we know that there is usually a week one couple.
Yeah.
Where they connect, and that's it. And it's usually the Aussie boys with blonde hair and blue eyes just connecting straight.
Yeah, no, I told you it's giving
Curtis and Amy.
Yeah, but that's flop.
Yeah. Who was
Gemma Owen and that guy.
Luca, yeah.
But it's giving that energy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So that's why I'm finding it hard to really connect with Mitchell. I do think he's in the right in the situation, but I'm just finding it really hard to connect because there's something about guys like that, like behaving like that just is a massive ick.
Yeah.
Like, chill out,
yeah.
dude. You're too big. I get it. He's upset because he's like, why are we playing these games?
Yeah.
But this is Love Island.
Yeah, come on.
It is a game.
Yeah.
So why come on the show for 27? You're looking to settle down. Like, be for real. You're saying you're looking to settle down with a girl off Love Island.
Come on.
A 22-year-old.
Honestly, I do feel like most of these contestants, they asked before they join, what are you looking for? Love and fame. Love or fame. And a good chunk of them are saying fame. And disguising it as love. But I don't know. Mitchell, he seems like the best looking guy out of all of them there. But I still feel there's a level of immaturity. And off the pod, we were talking about the perception of being on these shows and the reality that some of these contestants face after the show, where they may experience things like hate comments on social media and, you know, backlash. And I've kind of got to the place after being in this industry for a long time where I don't feel as sorry for them because they know what they signed up for. I'm not going to go into too much detail because we had a debate about it, because yes, it is wrong that contestants do face some of these issues, but as I've always said, I'm not feeling sorry for you if you're crying on the daybed. And also, at the same breath, I'm not feeling sorry for you if you feel like your girl has been stolen on a show where you actually are actively encouraged to date multiple people.
There's a difference between not feeling sorry for someone when they're on the show and what I'm talking about, which is your people's experience off the show. So you're being like, why are you being so weird? There's nothing wrong with that. The way that there's like, you're being able to contain your feelings about the show to the show is fine. It's leaving the show and losing your job or having people threaten your family, having to move house, not being able to do stuff like over something you did when you were 22 feels crazy. And there are people who do things that deserve to be cancelled who we keep around in our society.
Oh yeah.
Like a Philip Schofield. But we're saying, you go on a reality TV show where we can drag anyone up and down. Like the show we're about to talk about for our review is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Like, as much as all of us were like, this person sucks, I never then got on my phone and messaged that person. Yeah. But there are people out there that will have said, you're a garbage person and you should kill yourself. Yeah. Which is just, it's just nuts. Not okay. It doesn't matter that they were on a TV show. You don't have the right to do that.
It is, don't get me wrong, it is 100% wrong. We should not be living in a society where people think it's acceptable to be sending people death threats on the internet after watching a sometimes false narrative on a reality TV show. However, let us be real. This is what you have signed up for. This is part.
No, you didn't sign up for that.
Okay, sorry.
That's the thing you didn't
sign up for that particular part, but you know, inadvertently, you signing up for being part of the show means that there is a chance that you're going to be in a public view, you're going to be public face, and with any sort of fame, there is negative and positive sides to it. And a lot of characters, a lot of people from previous seasons have experienced backlash. So, again, as I've always said, for any of the new cohorts that are going on these shows, you should not be surprised that this is something that you may experience by being in this show. And also the family may experience. It's wrong.
I think that's easy to say.
It's inadvertently a byproduct of being on a reality show.
I think that's the issue though. The issue is, I think it's wrong to be like, well, this is what you signed up for, so you should expect this. What we need to be working through is, why is that a byproduct?
Yeah.
Why is that a byproduct? It shouldn't be like, well, you sign up for this, so what you get is what you get. That's not right. When people sign up to things, I do not believe that they're like, and I'm ready for the hate. They don't think they're going to get any hate. That's why they signed up to the show.
Yeah.
If they genuinely thought they were going to get hate, they wouldn't come on the show. And equally, people might be like, oh, I can handle the hate. You don't know what it's going to feel like because you've never got hate at that scale in your life. But unless you're on another reality TV show, you don't know what you're getting signing up for.
But the only reason why you have done that is because you've chosen to be part of this experience. And again, it is not right. But you have to also realize every decision has a consequence. Every decision has a reaction. And we are living in a world, and unfortunately, the reaction is that you will experience backlash. And there is backlash that can occur because there are crazy people in this world. And really, there needs to be things that regulate this. There needs to be, safeguarding that stops this type of behavior. But we're not there yet right now. And so for the new people that are coming into this reality world, this is something that they need to expect. And I mean, we work in this industry, so we know that with some of these reality shows, there are welfare teams and there are people that are put in place to help contestants as they're in the show, on the show, and post the show, to be able to get back to normal society, and also coach them and give them this, coping mechanism for some of the things and some of the hate that they may experience by just being on TV. Celebrities have always experienced this. It's just, unfortunately, part and parcel of being famous.
It's not the same. Being a celebrity is not the same.
But we're living in a world where celebrities are not. You're right. Celebrities are not the same. We are now living in a world where, like, the regular TikToker is a famous person.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the difference between somebody, like, if you play a character and people hate your character, that's not you.
Yeah.
It's different when you are basically going on a show like this. This is me. Yeah. And people are saying we hate you. There's a difference. Like, classic celebrity, you're right. Maybe nowadays with stuff like the Kardashians, some people are presenting a version, but you understand that that's a version of them. That's not them all the time.
Yeah.
With something like Love Island, you're getting, and I think what we're not taking into consideration here is that, like, some of these people have been sought out. Some of the people are on this show deliberately because they don't understand what they're signing up for.
Yeah.
So, like, it's one thing to say, you with a clear mind said, I'm willing to go on this and deal with whatever comes afterwards. It's enough for someone to tell you, you're going to do great on this show. We're going to really push you. We want you to couple up with someone. That's the plan. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want you to be the hero of the show. And then you get there and somehow you're the villain of the show. And you didn't even know you was going to be the villain of the show. And then you come out of the show and you can't even explain yourself because everybody has decided that they hate you. And apparently you signed up to get hated on when you left the show.
Yeah.
Which you didn't.
No, of course you didn't sign up to be hated on, of course. But that being said, let's talk about Love Island specifically. This is not Love Island Series 1. We are in Love Island Series 10. You have seen, not even Love Island, there's been plenty of reality shows where many people have come out and said, the producers manipulated me, or I thought I was coming in with this particular edit, and then the edit, when I saw it on TV, I realised that's not what happened. This is not brand new information.
I understand what that means as people that work in TV.
I don't think you even need to work in TV to do that.
If you're regular Joe, who has no concept of how a TV show is even made, so you don't know what a producer is, and someone reaches out to you and says, come on TV and just live in a villa for 6 weeks, and then you get there and you start being manipulated, you don't get it. You could hear someone talk about an edit. I feel like before I went to TV, someone's talking about an edit, I wouldn't necessarily know what that means.
I see
I don't think my sister would understand, a person who doesn't work in TV, understand how much manipulation goes into an edit.
I see your point, however, I disagree because I think we live in such an information-filled world that people understand. People understand the
getting
people
dumber. They're not getting smarter,
but people understand the role of producers. Like read Twitter and see how people are making comments about the producers are producing. This.
Yeah, these are viewers. This is different. Viewers are not contestants.
Because a lot of contestants before they become contestants are viewers.
Have seen a show, but just because you see a show doesn't mean you understand how a show is made.
All I'm just to say is I'm not trying to be, as I said before, I'm not trying to be unsympathetic to these contestants, but in the same breath, there is a level of responsibility that a contestant must take when they sign up for these type of shows. And even if they don't know, there is someone in their world that be like, this is the kind of thing that comes up. I honestly, I don't feel as sorry for them in this stage in Series 10 versus if you were in Love Island Series 1 and you were told, you're hot and you're going to find love on this island in Spain, come to this show. I would have felt like, oh, they've been really manipulated. They didn't realise. Whereas when Series 10, for goodness sake,
I personally think, you can always take responsibility for your own actions. The way you behave on the show is the way that you behave, and that's your responsibility. But I think simply saying, well, there's been 10 seasons, so you should know the ins and outs of the show, is assuming that someone's going to sit down and read an op-ed about if I didn't work in TV, I would not read op-eds about TV. Why would I? I don't fucking care about it. I don't care about it, and I don't understand it. I work in TV, and every day I learn something new about how much of it is manufactured. So I just don't think it's comparable necessarily, just off the top of your head, because you've seen a season of Love Island, you understand. Like, I remember reading articles last year and be like, I didn't realise they did stuff like this on Love Island. I didn't realise how deep it went. And I was a person who's watched it for 10 seasons, like you said. So it's just, to just say you've seen the show is and that should be enough for you to know what you signed up for. I think it's just too easy blanket charge to be like, right, and then whatever happens to you, happens to you.
I think it's the fame aspect for me. It's like, okay, you may not have watched the 10 seasons of Love Island beforehand, or even several seasons beforehand, or even a season before. But you know that being in the public eye brings certain things and brings certain scrutiny that whether you're celebrity, non-celebrity, it happens. That's why even on TikTok, people know that. Like, if you broadcast parts of your life in the public space, online, offline, regardless, there is going to be a level of scrutiny that you will face. So I'm not saying that like the contestants know every single thing or knows nothing at all, but I do think there, as I said, there is a level of responsibility that contestants must make. And if you're there crying on a daybed, there are plenty of other contestants seasons before that did the exact same thing. I feel
like what you're saying about crying on the daybed in and of itself, that's different to what we're actually talking about, because crying on the daybed, I agree with you. That is your experience on the show. That's not what I'm saying there is a problem with, right? The way that you behave on the show is the way you behave on the show. Thinking that a boy likes you and then finding out he doesn't. That happens every season. Yes. I get that. That part is not what I don't have a problem with that at all, because that's the show. It wouldn't work if people didn't behave in the same ways. It's the post the show and the fact that, like, there isn't, as much as everyone's talking about welfare, ITV is notorious for not taking care of their contestants. 3 people have committed suicide from being on Love Island. It is not a good show to be on in terms of looking after people.
But in the flip side, a lot of people have seen the aftermath of what you can get getting off the show. That whole idea that you can get that PLT deal or the Boohoo deal, and you can make the money and you can get the fame. So again, if you're signing up, because a lot of these contestants, let us be for real now, we're now in season 10, they're not coming for love, they're coming for fame. So if they're coming for the fame, or i.e. the deals, the sponsorships, or the followers, there's also the flip side, there's also the negative side of it. So as much as we can use the idea of the argument of welfare, a lot of these people know what they're signing up for in terms of the fame aspect. Or they think they do, but they also know that they will come with the flip.
But what you're saying then is, the 2 options on this show is, like, when you sign up, you're either signing up hoping you're going to get a PLT deal, but accepting that you may end up committing suicide.
Come on, I'm not doing an exaggeration of being suicidal.
No, but those are the 2 sides
I think they're too extreme.
Of course they're too extreme, but you're saying if you're saying when you come into this and you sign up because you want the PLT deal, you need to be prepared for the fact that you might not get the PLT deal and you might end up being hated by the nation. That's the flip side. Those are the 2 things you sign up for.
There's a Channel 4 documentary that gives you the exact same, literally breaks this down, where, like, people go in thinking of one thing and
but I don't think what you're saying is that person then also signed up being like, and I might end up being hated, but I'm going to take it anyway. I think all of those people said, all of those people, that documentary about Love Island, all of those people said they went in there thinking they were going to do well. They didn't go in there thinking about, in the back of their mind, what if I fuck up and everyone hates me? That wasn't even an idea in their head. It wasn't. So if you're saying people are signing up knowing that there's they don't know whether it's stupidity, whether it's ignorance, whether it's a choice not to know, whether it's genuine belief. I do not think they've said, I agreed to this deal where either I get a PLT deal or I may or may not end up killing myself. That's a crazy deal, of course. Who would sign that?
Yeah, I think...
No one would sign that.
I think it's the idea, just, again, as someone who's watched it many times, and as someone who's like, you read Twitter, you know that it's part of the... You know that social commentary...
They're not going after the people that read Twitter. They're not going after the people who do social commentary.
Most of the people they get are people that have big followers on Instagram.
Yeah, but they're not big followers on Instagram because they're doing dives into TV. They've got followers because they wear bikinis and they wear clothes. Be for real.
But on Instagram...
Go look up every single one of those guys and tell me that she's going home and reading The Guardian. She's not.
Okay, but be for real. You're on Instagram and you are there showing your body. You will be getting hate. Unfortunately, we live in a world where
but the hate that you're getting on your Instagram page is not the same as your hate once your body is put into
the price of fame. If you,
I don't think that's right.
To me, I think it's just.
I know what you're saying.
It's simplistic to feel like
it's
that they're so dumb.
It's okay.
A lot of them, we are in a stage and we're in an era where if you go on a reality show, there is a chance of backlash. You may hope and be optimistic that there wouldn't be. There is 100% a chance that there will be. And you've seen it with previous contestants. It's not like, I've never seen this before. You've probably seen it with other contestants. That's why I always say, I don't feel sorry for you if you're crying on the daybed. I do feel, 100% do I feel bad? I feel bad if you come out and your family's getting villainized and you're literally can't get a job after coming out of Love Island. Of course I feel bad about it. But it's a risk you take. It's a risk. That's ultimately what it is.
Yeah, I guess I just don't... I just don't, for me, think that is reasonable and that we just go, right, yeah, no, that's what it is. I actually think that there's something inherently rotten in that. If you want to be famous, you have to accept that, you are also agreeing to entering into the fray and people can do and say what they want to you. I just don't think that's right. Inherently, I just don't think it's right.
Oh, it's wrong.
I don't think that what we should... I think for me, the idea of perpetuating that and being like, well, that's what it is, so it is what it is, feels just really like, just not like a world that I want to subscribe to. So for me, I just think, yeah, okay, you went on a show and you thought you was going to do well, you didn't, you flopped and everybody, doesn't like you, and that is what it is. But that should be what it is. Yeah. That should be where it stops. And I know that other people, I know that that's currently, people feel like they are entitled to that, but I'm saying that's wrong actually. Yeah. I just think it's wrong, and it's not you signed up for this so you get what you get. No. That is not the answer. That's not the response. I feel like the response should be, why do we feel entitled to do that to people? What is it about when we see someone, whether we like them or not, that we feel that we can... I now have ownership over this experience and I can make or break you. I think that's so dark.
Yeah. Don't
what is that about?
It is
We need to understand what that is about, because people wanting to be famous, people have been wanting to be famous for time.
Yeah.
That is you can read books about that. That exists. I feel like people haven't studied enough what it is about us as people who view those people that make us either love them or hate them and nothing in between.
Yeah. It's crazy that we do live in a world where people can and have given so much hate to people who are in the public eye. It is wrong, and I have no idea how you fix that. It's a very tainted society for us to live in a world where people, if they go on a TV show or they become famous or they become an amazing singer, that they will experience adulation but also hate. Unfortunately, that is the price of fame, and it's not right. It's definitely not right. And it's not fair. I was going to start singing Whitney Houston, but it's not right at all. And that's from not even pre-Love Island, I was going to say centuries, for decades. This is what's happened to many, many celebrities or many people that have come into the public eye. Not in the same way because of the internet and the society we live in today.
Just not in the same way. But that person could walk into their local corner shop. That person could live their life on a daily basis. Remember the days of paparazzi? Remember the days of the Britney Spears of the world? Like, this is not brand new information. However, we are living in a crazy world. We live in an internet-filled world
we're living in a world where comments, people can just throw a comment and you can have the, the Twitter fingers, creating and sending death threats to celebrities, or sending death threats to TikTokers, or sending death threats to people that have seen it on one show for 2 minutes and judge them for their whole life. It's wrong. It is not right. Unfortunately, this is the world we are living in. So it is for the contestants that go on to safeguard themselves, get a really strong support system around them, because there is a chance this could happen.
How can you ask a 19-year-old to safeguard themselves? You know the show is built to take advantage of people.
Yeah,
so how can you sit here and say, it's up to you as a 19-year-old to safeguard yourself?
You need to have some... again...
Would you even know where to start when you were 19 to safeguard yourself?
You need to have... Okay, you need to have a good support system
also,
around you.
Be for real. When you're 19, do you even understand?
If you're 19 and you don't understand life, you shouldn't be on the show.
Let's leave it.
We have to
because you know that the show deliberately goes after people that they can exploit.
Oh,
like
100%.
a 19-year-old. So to sit here and be like, well, 19-year-old, you should have... As if
No.
when you was 19-year-old, you had to know
come on.
how you would have navigated being in that situation. You absolutely don't. You know you wouldn't.
But that's what I'm saying. For future contestants, you need to make sure you have a really strong support system around you, and know that
but they're still 19.
Yes, but also the producers are not for you. So, yes, but you have family, you have friends, you have people that be like, okay, I'm here for you when the world is telling you that you're nothing, or if that could happen. We have to agree to disagree, because we have different thoughts on this. I wish every single contestant on these Love Island shows, on all the reality shows, the best when they come out of these like experiences or journeys that they're on. But we've seen time and time again, year after year, that there are issues. There are fundamental, systematic issues when it comes to producing, when it comes to these type of shows, especially when it affects real life. It's not like you said, it's not Brad Pitt. It's not like, you know, a celebrity where they or an actress or actor where they play their role, they finish their role, take off the mask and go home. It's not like that when it's real life. So this industry was built almost accidentally. You found a small hit and it became big, and then there's other formats that have come from it. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done in the reality space. We're not there yet, but I wish everyone the best. I do. Even though, yeah.
I think this is an interesting segue into our...
Yeah, let's do it.
Our review of the week, because I think this was a group of people that were a little bit wiser they're not your typical people that you would get on a show like this. No. I think that's why it ended up being good TV.
Yeah, I agree.
But let's get to that.
Yeah.
So our review of the week is in honor of Pride Month. No, I hate when people do that, because like I would watch this anyway whether it's Pride Month or not.
I agree. Yeah.
It's the Queer Ultimatum.
Yeah.
So if you're familiar with the Ultimatum format, this is a queer version. The Ultimatum format is basically a bunch of couples who have been together for varying amounts of time. One of the members of the couple have decided that now is the time to get married. And they brought their partner on here to experience the experiment in which they have to switch partners, live a trial marriage with someone else, and at the end, and then after that spend 2 weeks doing a trial marriage with their original partner. And at the end they have to decide whether they want to get married or whether they want to part ways. Yeah. Or whether they want to couple up with one of the new people.
Yeah.
So that's the format in a nutshell. I immediately had a thought as I was saying that, which is, what the fuck is a trial marriage when you think about it?
It's mad.
Like, what consists of a trial marriage?
Because the whole time I watched it, they were like, some of them really made it sound like it's a real marriage. Like, I got married. And at one point I almost turned to the TV. I was like, huh? Did they actually get married like legally? But I think the trial marriage is them living together and doing the things, quote unquote, you would do as a married couple. Which, perfectly honest, depending on how you see marriages, just living together.
Yeah, exactly. It's so different.
And meeting parents, but that you would do that maybe before.
That's what I think. That's the thing. It's a trial relationship is the reality of it. I don't think it's a trial marriage because they don't get married.
No.
Like, it feels like what they should have included is like a faux wedding ceremony or something to make it feel more official.
Commitment. Yeah.
Rings, names, like, I don't know, I have to open a bank account as Mrs. Kasha Davis as opposed to like, you know, Mrs. Marnie Michaels. Like, something that makes it, really it's just two people living together and having sex.
I think,
that's
a lot. Yeah, I think the marriage part has to legitimize the sex, because we saw the sex. But I think the only thing I was going to say with this, like, saying the word marriage, I think provides this level of commitment that I'm not saying you wouldn't have had, like, if you said trial relationship, but there's something more elevated.
Out of there.
Oh,
so they didn't listen to the commitment part at all. They said, I'm going to go if I don't want to be here.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so let's get into it.
Yeah. How do we want to do it? Just like couple by couple?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I'm just going on the Tudum website. The first couple.
I knew it was going to be Lexi and Ray.
Lexi and Ray.
Lexi and Ray.
Yeah.
So imagine the smallest woman you've ever seen in your entire life.
Oh my God.
And the biggest woman you've ever seen in your entire life. That's Lexi and Ray. Lexi is like an Amazon.
Yeah.
Like, she's tall, she's curvy, she's got massive tits.
Yeah, I mean, when
she's got long blonde hair.
Yeah, when the dates happen before their couples decide which person they want to have their trial marriage with, everyone was just staring at
everyone
her
was
kids.
Like, wow, tits, wow, tits.
Yeah.
And then Ray is this tiny, I think she said she was a basketball player. I said, in what universe? What? She's athletic, she's got brown hair, she's Asian. She seems like fun. They both seem like fun.
Yeah.
But Lexi, who is 24, clearly like runs this relationship.
Yeah.
Like, she's the one who made the ultimatum. And Ray is more like, I don't know, I like you a lot, but this feels intense.
I have thoughts about that already, but we'll talk about it at the end.
So when they come into the competition, it's time for them to break up and choose a new partner. Both of them start talking to the same person, Vanessa.
Yeah.
And Vanessa's energy is, well, we'll come into more detail about Vanessa, but she's a flirt in this first half of the series. And she's flirting with Lexi and she's flirting with Ray. And she low-key loves the fact that she's flirting with two members of the same couple.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh no, maybe we'll have a threesome. Like, she's not taking this seriously.
Oh no, not at all.
So she's going on dates with Ray and they seem to be going well. She's going on dates with Lexi and they seem to go well. And then there's just this date with Lexi that suddenly takes this, like, sharp left where Lexi's like, you know, I want to get married, I want to have kids. Like, where do you see yourself going? She's like, I'm just here to have a good time, really. Like, I know for a fact that my partner, Xander, said she'd be asexual if it wasn't for me. Yeah. So she said, Xander can't even imagine having sex with another person because I'm that bitch.
Oh, that
and
changes very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. She was very delusional about the state of her relationship.
Oh, just too confident, yeah.
Lexi hears that and is like, right, I feel like you've come here mostly to flirt with girls. And Vanessa's like, yeah, basically. And Lexi's like, no.
Yeah.
I don't like this. But I think also Lexi was okay with flirting with Vanessa up until she saw Vanessa and Ray together and she was like, hold on a second. I don't like this.
Yeah. I'll be honest, when Lexi confronted Vanessa, that's when I piped up and was like, oh, this is gonna be some drama. Because perfectly honest at that point, it was again background TV. Background TV. I was watching it while I was cooking, basically.
It's like you don't really get a sense of the people. Yeah, it's
the
not
names
sure
I didn't know. Yeah, but when she turned around and said, "You are here for the wrong reasons. You are here because for you think your relationship is a lock. So you think that Xander's
got nothing to lose.
Exactly. Xander's gonna be there for you regardless. She's gonna be your what's called safety net.
Yeah.
So you can have fun and then go back to her. That'll go back to them. You can go back to them.
Her or them.
Yeah.
Her pronouns are she, her.
Okay.
Or she, they.
She, they. Okay. So we will talk about one other thing about pronouns because it's not really explicitly mentioned in the show. So a lot
apologies
of this
if we
misgender. A lot of this is coming from either what we've researched or just So that was when I realized, okay, that people are here for games. Very similar to the OG Ultimatum, where there's always someone who's out here just for a good time, but not for a long time.
Yeah. So basically, with that conversation, Lexi removes herself from the running with Vanessa.
Yeah.
Then at the coupling, Ray decides. Lexi says to Ray, I'm begging you, do not couple up with Vanessa. I think she's really bad vibes. I've spoken to her and she's just like not good vibes. And Ray hears that and goes, I am going to couple with her actually. Which made me think in the moment of time that like Ray likes drama. As the series goes on, she's like she really like shrinks as a person, actually. At the beginning, I was like, that's quite ballsy to be like, I hear what you're saying, but I am actually going to couple up with that person.
She was giving me, like, you know, the whole idea when someone tells you no, or like, don't do something, and you're like, steadfast in your thinking that is right, or the idea that you don't want someone to tell you what to do, and that's why you go and do it anyways. That's what was giving me, but yeah,
so Lexi couples up with Mal, who is a black woman who is in a relationship with someone called Yoly, who will come back to you later, and Ray couples up with Vanessa. Lexi and Mal are very respectful. Lexi and Mal, like, it's very weird because Mal is a person who had the ultimatum issue to them.
Yeah.
But as soon as she's coupled up with Lexi, she's like, yeah, I can get married.
Yeah.
Which if I was Yoly, that would have made me whatever.
We will talk about their relationship maybe next, but it was giving me like a weird vibe of like really close friendships. Like this is someone that mate. This person or she's gonna support me. Lexi's gonna support me through thick and thin. But then also sometimes it was giving me like I could marry this girl. I'm like, hello.
Lexi calls them soulmates.
Yeah.
Which I thought was quite intense for someone that. And at several points, Lexi was like, I can imagine myself marrying Mal. Yeah. But I didn't see anything flirty or sexual between the two of them. So I was like, in a sort of, in the same way I could marry one of my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could marry her. I know her. She's a good person. And I know she'd look after me. But we would never sleep in the same bed and we wouldn't have sex.
Yeah.
That's a platonic friendship is what you're describing her. It's not married.
Like,
But Vanessa and Ray couple up, and within 5 days, within 5 days, Ray and Vanessa have had sex.
Fingergate.
So, something that they talk about in the reunion, which I'm just going to bring up here, because I think a lot of people have sort of sexual relations, but people vary on what they mean by sex. So what happens is Vanessa fingers Ray.
Yeah.
For Lexi, she counts that as sex.
Yeah.
I think other people on the panel, perhaps, because she brings it up at the reunion to say, like, perhaps I overreacted, but for me, that sex wouldn't have considered that sex.
Yeah.
I personally would consider that sexual contact.
Yeah.
And if my partner said to me, I fingered some girlie, I'd be like, okay, you better marry that girlie. Yeah. Because you're not coming to my house anymore.
I think it's the idea that
what do you mean finger someone?
Yeah, any part of your body has gone inside someone else. Any other person's orifice.
Inside that person's private part. If your hand went in someone's mouth, I'd be like, oh, it must have been an accident. Huh?
Yeah. So for me, everyone's got different interpretations, and especially like us being like straight watching this show about a queer community, like I'm watching it just trying to almost be educated about what they visualize and how they interpret that, because from a straight person, that's sex. That's not penetrative. It's not penetrative sex. Like
it's worse than a kiss.
Yeah, but there's something about it that's sexual.
Did you get the person off? Because if she came at the end, then I would count that. If you made someone orgasm, that's fucked up.
No, I think it's anything that's. I mean, the fact that she's in her, that like the intention. I feel like we're gonna argue about this, but the intention of your fingers or your body, any part of your body is going into someone else in a sexual way, gives me that is sex or sexual contact, however you want to interpret it. But either way, you're cheating on me. Oh, let's not do this.
I think that comes.
I think we're gonna get back to the physical.
No, I think it comes down to what you in your relationship count
as the boundary you set. Yeah, the boundaries you set. Yeah,
and if you're saying you and I are the persons who do that to each other, we finger each other, and then I find out you fingered someone else, I will count that as cheating. Yeah. What I was gonna say is that, like, in a really cynical way, if I didn't come, I'm not counting that.
Oh my god, okay.
That was a big waste of my time.
For the lads and ladies, you may have heard some of our debates, like what we've just had earlier in the ep, about what we count as cheating. I just find any aspect of your body part going into someone else's. And it's not like in a way that you're trying to like give them CPR.
Put out a fire.
Yeah.
Quick!
Yeah, that is
making them throw up because they're choking on
Yeah,
them.
exactly. Yeah, that's like if you're saving their life, I get it, but you fingering them is not saving their lives.
No, I'm saying that in a like, this would be me talking to my partner afterwards to be like, I didn't come, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
But if my partner said to me, yeah, so when I was out last night, I fingered a girl, I'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
To be fair, that would be so fucking
wild.
weird to me.
It's
That I'd be like, I
wild.
don't even know how to react to this.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I think it's also that, going back to the whole boundary conversation, is when you are on the show, and if you have not watched the original Ultimatum, you would know that previous couples have had sex, they have sex together. Now, if you're coming on this show, oh God, I feel like we're repeating what we talked about. But if you're coming on this show and having watched a previous season, you will know, like, we need to do these kind of boundaries. Even this type of experiment requires boundaries. So,
Yeah, of course it does.
and if you're sleeping, I do think it's not easy. I think if you're sleeping in the same bed with someone and you're in this quote unquote trial marriage, there is likelihood that you're connecting with someone that it can turn physical.
No.
I do think it can happen, but you need to have a conversation like, what does physical look like, and what are we not allowed, and what's the no-goes areas. And let's be honest, Ray messed up.
It's so interesting because Ray the next day wakes up and is like
Traumatized.
Yeah, she feels fucking awful.
Yeah.
Immediately tells Lexi. Vanessa, on the other hand, is like, I have no feelings for Ray. And I think that's what was really fucking with me. Why did you do it then?
Easy. It was there.
No, but I feel like that is so much worse. If my partner said to me, I met this girl and I really liked her. I really liked her, I don't know what to tell you, and we kissed. I might be able to be like, you have a crush and it goes too far. If you said to me, I don't feel anything for that girl.
Yeah.
I just kissed her because she was there. Honey, there's
Yeah.
no coming back from that.
Honestly,
how can I ever trust you? Because
Yeah,
whenever
you're
you ever
terrible.
see any girl, you might try and kiss her.
Yeah.
That's nuts to me.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
Vanessa, you don't like her.
no.
And Ray doesn't like you.
No.
And you said that you guys had that conversation just before you went into bed and then fingered her. Not even fingered each other. You fingered her and then you both went to sleep. And then you've woken up first thing, even at 5 a.m, not even at the time you're supposed to wake up because you can't sleep because you feel so rotten.
Yeah.
You've called Lexi. Lexi is heartbroken.
Yeah.
But weirdly, Lexi's like, I'm going to tell my friends and my family. Which is not my first thought.
No.
Tells everybody. Even at one point, Ray, she tells her parents when her and Matt are on.
Oh, that was just so awkward.
So I really felt for Mara because she was like, yeah, obviously I want to be there for Lexi, but equally, like, it's kind of ruining our child marriage.
Yeah.
That she's crying over her ex. It's time for Mal to meet the parents. Lexi's like, Ray cheated on me. So now the rest of the meeting is spent talking about Ray and Ray's cheating shenanigans, and nobody even asked about Mal. But that's what I mean. Like, these two aren't.
I didn't see it as seriously anyway.
These two aren't gonna get together.
No, even when she was talking, the parents were like, "Well, if you and Mal see this as a future," but they weren't even convinced.
And I kind of knew from her telling everyone that there's probably a chance she will get back with Ray.
You think?
I felt that, like, what she enjoyed was everyone feeling sorry for her. And that sense of vindication, like, I can't believe Ray did this to you, poor you. But I didn't get the impression that she didn't want to be with Ray anymore. In fact, the fact that you can't stop talking about it makes me feel like it's because you still want to be with her.
Yeah.
And it kind of hurts you. That's what's hurting you all over again. So when morning you wake up, you're like, I miss Ray. But Ray cheated on me.
Yeah. I'll be honest, okay, as I said before, the Lexi and Vanessa conversation piqued my interest when it came to the show, but when it got to the cheating part and she was there telling everyone, I started to get bored and I switched off quite quickly because I was like, I don't care.
I really liked how whenever Lexi and Vanessa bumped into each other, Lexi was like, so you're a whore, you do her shit, and then Vanessa would always act, that's what was jarring. And I feel like Lexi is a very intense person.
Yeah.
She was always going to do that, regardless of who Vanessa was. But Vanessa's energy is being like, I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah, that's
You're
messed up.
Gonna get it both barrels now. And the worst thing is everyone on the table agrees with Lexi.
Yeah.
everyone's like, go after her. Even people who are sleeping with your partner currently.
Yeah, true.
Yoly was like, get her. You've
Like,
had sex with her partner.
Yeah. I mean,
Get that bitch.
and the thing is, it's kind of crazy, and we'll talk about Xander later, that when it came to Vanessa, she didn't seem that fast that she herself had cheated on Xander.
No, she didn't care.
She didn't care, but then
care.
she cared that Xander had interest in someone else, but not her. But she still didn't even care that Xander was as physical with Yoly. I think she cared that she thought she lost.
Yeah, and she cared that was Yoly.
Yeah.
She said, that girl doesn't like me.
Yeah, she cared about that more than the actual relationship.
All the people you could fuck, why her?
We'll move on to Vanessa I don't know if we can move on to Vanessa now, but all I'm going to say is that she came here for a different reason.
She came here to be famous.
She was 100%.
And she thought she was gonna sail through.
Yeah.
And even when she was like, I finally realised that I love you, Xander, I didn't buy it.
No, come on.
I had to, when we get there, we'll get to that. But so Lexi and Ray, after all of that, it's time for them to get back together for their trial marriage.
Yeah.
And after Lexi gives her a hard time for a couple of days, and then is like, I love you again.
Yeah.
I think we should get married. They go to a big reunion with all of the other people there, and Vanessa keeps trying to talk to Ray. And Lexi says something like, hi, and that's it. And Lexi's like, why did you say hi to her? Takes her aside, like, do you know how muggy it is that you keep talking to her after I told her that I don't want her in our life? At this big bust up. And at this point I was like, these two are not going to get married. Because they just can't get past this thing.
I thought they would get married.
Based on that argument.
Not on that argument per se, but I just felt like, because their storyline, in comparison to the other couples that we go into, their storyline didn't seem that deep. After she kind of almost like forgave her and the whole like Fingergate, I was like, they're probably still gonna get married even with this like issue.
I didn't think they were gonna get married, but when the time comes to make their decision, both of them proposed to each other, which I thought was quite cute.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Were you?
I was surprised. I felt like Ray. I didn't buy that Ray had got to a place where she was sure.
No, she probably wasn't, but
she was scared.
It's more pressure, yeah. But also, I think the other reason why I thought they would get together is that we've just seen, like, Lexi and Ray were one of the last couples. Oh, they were the last couple to, reveal their ultimatum decision, and so I was feeling like we had a couple of like flops. So I was thinking, actually, not major flash. Yeah, so I was.
Most people got together.
Oh yeah, she did actually, but I just felt like. I felt like it was gonna be smooth because everyone, even though they had agreed to get married, everyone was a bit bumpy, and we'll go into a bit more detail about each of the other couples. But I was like, this one, we're gonna finish on a high. Most of the time on these shows, the OG Ultimatum France, even Love is Blind, you always finish with a couple on a high. So I was like, I think it's gonna be positive. More from me as if I was a producer and me put my hat on. That's like, how do I want the audience to feel at the end?
So they couple up.
Yeah.
We get to the reunion.
Yeah.
And they ask, are you guys married yet? And I thought this was really interesting. When they asked each of the couples if they had married, the ones that said they were going to get married, if they'd married yet.
It had been a year since the show.
None of them had married.
It's been a year though. They probably said yes, but they're still finding like venues and stuff.
None of them was even doing that though.
Yeah, that was a bit odd.
So we come to Ray and Lexi. We are thinking, we're in the stages of thinking about planning.
Yeah.
What? They
just moved, isn't it?
Yeah. They've moved. They're splitting their time between coasts. Mm-hmm. But everything felt like it was in hand. They felt like they were happy.
Yeah.
The host, being messy, went to Vanessa and was like, how do you feel about getting basically the part that you played in this relationship? Mm-hmm. Vanessa was like, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't go away, blah, blah, blah. But it was really interesting. Whenever they cut to Ray, she looked really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
In a like deeply upset type of way. But I couldn't work out if it was because Lexi was like, don't engage with her, or if she really felt some type of way about that interaction that they had.
What, with Vanessa?
Yeah. Like maybe she was like, yeah, I didn't want to do that with you, but then like we were both drunk, and now it just is this thing that follows me around and I can't stand it. But I felt like, the two of them, seem like they're doing quite well. Credits roll.
Whew.
And apparently Netflix is becoming the queen of the post-credit
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Post-credits moment, they go, shortly after this reunion, if not the minute after,
Yeah.
Lexi and Ray have decided to part ways.
And there will be no wedding.
They're done.
I was shocked.
I was shocked.
Because
they looked genuinely happy.
Yeah, of all the couples, they seemed one of the most stable in that reunion.
There was only 2 couples together.
Yeah,
and
but that's
they were
what
one of them.
They were one of them, yeah. So I was thinking, okay, well, high hopes. Like, for us to get even just 1 or 2 couples out of any of these type of shows, it's a miracle. So
Lexi and Ray.
did you also get a message right at the end of the show going, go to zoom.com to find out what happened? Yeah.
What I want to say about Lexi and Ray is I did not think they had any business being together. I felt like Lexi is this like strong, dominant person and actually needed to be with someone who, even if they were more submissive, had just more of a sense of themselves.
Yeah.
And throughout the series, I just felt like Ray was revealing more and more about how little self-esteem she had.
Yeah.
And that she was just sort of happy to be led by Lexi. And it feels like in a relationship like that, you don't know if you are happy to do this. You are just happy to be led.
Yeah.
And all it takes is for you to be led in a direction that you don't want to be in one day for the entire thing
to snap,
to collapse.
I also felt like, I think you mentioned it already, that they wanted 2 different things in life. And a lot of the people that issued an ultimatum, they were very serious about the marriage and the kids. And I think from what they showed, being part of the queer community requires extra planning when it comes to family planning.
Yeah,
like when it comes
really
to children. Yeah, which is something that they really went into detail. It's not like, oh, do you want children? When do you want to have children? It's like, do you want to have children? And how are we going to do children? I.e., are we going to do things like IVF? Are we going to do a surrogate? Are we going to do... Am I going to carry the baby? Are we going to,
You're going to ask a friend.
I'm going to ask a friend. Like, and none of these avenues are cheap. None of them are cheap for heterosexual couples either. So I think it was really interesting. That conversation came up quite often when it came to the idea of family planning, and that idea also was hinged around the ultimatum. Like, if you see a future with me, you see family. Like, it was very serious, and I didn't feel like Ray was as serious as Lexi.
No.
Like, Lexi, when she was talking to her parents, she had a very fixed idea of where she wants her life to be and what she wants to do, and I think Yoly had a very similar kind of approach as well. But I didn't see Ray being as serious as Lexi.
No.
And I think it also showed a little bit with the ages, but I think also Lexi's a bit of an old soul. I think that's why she connected so well with Mal, even though Mal was like significantly older than Lexi. Ray gave me some immaturity vibes, and I think that's why she connected with Vanessa as much as she did at the beginning.
I think that's a really good point. Yeah. Who should we talk about next?
Next on the list is Yoly and Mal.
Yoly
and Mal.
Yoly and Mal. Okay, I really think that what I've heard since the show is interesting reading for their experience on the show. Yeah. So there is a theory going around at the moment that Mal may have cheated on Yoly before the series started.
Yeah, you said that to me.
Because at the beginning, in the first episode, Mal says to Yoly, I know that I've hurt you a lot. I just want you to know that I'm here for you now. And so people are interpreting that is that Mal has cheated on her in the past. And obviously there are loads of other people being like, well, if Mal had cheated on Yoly, why would Yoly not say, well, you don't have to tell everyone your business on TV. Please. But what's interesting about that is the reading you get of Mal and Yoly's relationship is Mal is with Lexi and it's being very respectful and it's just 2 best friends.
Yeah.
Yoly partners up with Xander. Whew. And at first, I was like, I don't really see this.
Yeah.
But Mal makes a point of saying, you like white girls.
Does she say that?
You like white girls. You fall for any white girl. That's why I'm feeling a bit anxious right now. This is at the beginning, when she said to Mal, oh, I'm thinking about Xander. She's like, Xander's the kind of girl you've been with in the past.
So interesting.
So excuse me for feeling a bit anxious, because right now it feels like basically you're going back to type and you've never really liked me. Yoly's trying to reassure her. Yoly's trying to reassure her. Cut to Yoly and Xander on their trial marriage. Huh? Within 2 days, they're saying, holding hands.
I love you.
I love you. I can see my life with you. You're who I've always wanted to be with. These two, and like, I don't know if it's because they're queer or what. I brought into this room. I brought into the romance. I said these two people I love.
Yeah, I mean, again,
it's crazy, but I'm buying it.
Yeah. So going back to my observation of this show, Lexi's argument with Vanessa piqued my interest. Yoly and Xander kept me staying to see the mess of this relationship, because you're right, it was giving me like real like
Romeo and Juliet star-crossed lovers.
Yeah, like, oh, they're not there.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, forbidden love type of thing. I'm like, huh? Like, it felt so real to like, and you could feel it in their heart. And I think at times I kept thinking, Xander,
Edward and Bella.
Yeah, I mean, I've never watched Twilight, but I give you.
Xander's very much giving Edward.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess was giving Bella.
Yeah. But Xander was giving a lot of. I felt like times that Xander was more into her, into Yoly than Yoly was into Xander. But you could tell, regardless, they're both really connected.
So they couple. Not to jump ahead because I'm going to talk about this bit, but I need to explain. They couple up. They're in love within a week.
Yeah.
They're having sex. They're in love with each other. They're telling each other they love each other before, like 2 days before the end.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, how the hell are they going to go back to their partners? Because they're in love with each other.
That reveal, that session where everyone had to go back and be like, reunion, wild.
So, everyone's like, what the fuck are you saying you fell for someone? First of all, when they had to choose couples that day, Xander gets up and is like, the person I want to couple up with, this is kind, sweet. Oh, they gave such moving speeches about every single person they chose. I was like, you guys really know each other in 2 days. Yeah. I know her spirit, I know her soul. I met her mom, I met her dad. I said,
in 2 days.
Are we missing something?
Yeah.
Anyway, Xander gives her speech. And the whole time Vanessa's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is fucked. She is doing a commentary the whole time. So at some point someone says, sorry, I hate to cut you guys off. Can you stop what you're doing to Vanessa? She's like, what am I doing? I'm like, you're telling her to fuck off while she's talking to someone. And she's like, Vanessa's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Xander's like, please guys, you don't understand. Vanessa's a good person. They're like, no, she's making everybody uncomfortable. Everyone here has to watch their partner couple up with someone else. Everyone here is hurting. Vanessa's actually like, she's the only person who has feelings in the world. Vanessa is pissed. She's been telling everyone that there's no way that Xander would ever couple with anyone else. She said she was going to be asexual if it wasn't for her. And now all of a sudden, not only is Xander coupling up, but she's coupling up with the girl that apparently Vanessa hates. This is the first time I even knew that Vanessa hated her.
Same.
Anyway, Vanessa is pissed. Yeah. She's fuming. But Xander and Yoly, there's something there.
Yeah.
When they have to go back to their original couples, I was like, this is so sad. Like, how can you split up a couple of us?
Oh, they look miserable. Yoly going back to Mal that first night, and she's just sitting, I think, in the kitchen, and Mal's trying to chat to her, and Yoly was just looking at her going, I could be anywhere right now with Xander.
I could be in Xander's arms right now. And you're right, I'm listening to you. This is crazy. They have a reunion.
Yeah.
And at the reunion, I'm sorry, I tell you, my heart genuinely. So like I said, this is a moment from a rom-com.
When you talking about the reunion, are you talking about when they had to do the ultimatum decision, or are you talking about the actual?
No, they have the like midway through their.
Everyone gets together. Yeah.
And Yoly and Mal at this point, I think the vibes is off.
Yeah, Mal can tell.
Mal keeps being like, I don't care, we're getting married at the end of this. I want to marry you. Yoly is like, I love someone else. Mal's like, I still want to marry you.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, this is just not making sense to me at this point. But the reading that Mal had cheated on Yoly before lends itself to this idea that Mal was just trying to be like, I will take
you back.
It's tit for tat now.
Yeah.
You got with Xander, I got with this person before, we're equal, let's get married. Which is also a fucked up time to get married with someone.
I'll be honest, before or leading up to that reunion or the ultimatum decision, I've never seen such desperation in my life.
I didn't get it.
It was almost a point where I almost wanted to shout at the TV going, Mal, stand down. Stand down.
Stand up.
So yeah, stand up and take your dignity, because you're there, trying to salvage something that's gone already. When they were at that mini reunion as a party, and then Mal was like, oh, Mal, Yoly, Xander, Vanessa, come, let's have a chat. And then all the other girlies come around, because this is the most drama from the show. Their relationship created so much drama and so much tension. And Mal went to Xander and say, would you choose Yoly at the end? And Xander was like, I would choose myself. I mean, it was awkward.
Yeah, but Xander wanted to say yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I was like, Mal, for you to be doing Quizmaster right now,
you're not taking this seriously.
You're not, because your
girl's getting taken.
And you're also there like using this decision, which is ultimately to do with if you want to get married and have a family, etc. You're using this as a game, like a play, like, oh, I'm the better one. You're competing. And why are you doing that to yourself? Yoly doesn't want you.
Do you think there's ever a universe? Because I keep thinking about this, because that's what's stuck in my head from this series, where the person that you love could tell you, I'm in love with someone else, and then your follow-up to that is, will you marry me?
No! Because to me, it's ultimately the recipe for disaster. Like, the root of your relationship is also always going to be that my partner was never 100% in for me.
The minute you say to me, I love someone else,
it's a wrap. It's the end of the conversation. It's a wrap. What else is there to say? Like, your heart is not with me.
I'm trying very hard all the time to be respectful and learn about other people, be accepting and open and sympathetic and just like empathetic, all of those things. One thing about me, I'm mad jealous. I could not live on this earth knowing that I am sharing you with another human being who we're going to see at parties.
Yeah, it's just...
I'd rather you shot me in the face. Kill me, I can't do this.
To me, it was disappointing, and it was sad, and it was desperate.
It's a toxic trait.
It was really toxic, and to me it shows
it was toxic kindness almost. Like, it's like, this is not making any sense.
Because she was like, oh, well, I can stand through this with you, Yoly, as you know, I understand your feelings about having, this, your heart being with someone else. If your heart is with someone else, why are you trying to beg this?
I'm not proposing to you.
Like this.
Well, it's actually not fair.
No.
Why are you going to someone who isn't sure about you?
Yeah.
And be like, tell me right now, do you want to marry me?
Yeah. So I mean,
it's the same thing that Mitchell's doing on Love Island. Yeah. Leave this person alone.
So for backstory, why Yoly was the one that gave them ultimatum to Mal. Yeah. Yoly flagged that in the relationship that's had with Mal for, I think it was quite a few years. Yeah. That Mal wasn't particularly ready for a family, because Yoly was ready to get married and have a family.
234?
Yeah, so she was like, and I think in their family planning, she was going to carry the baby. But also the other thing was, she didn't see Mal as probably being the most mature in terms of like house cleaning and that kind of like the responsibilities and the quote unquote gender roles, in terms of she felt like she was almost babying Mal, which, perfectly honest, in any relationship, that is a problem. Like, if you're seeing that you are basically being a mother to your husband, that is a big issue. Your grown-ass husband. So for her to see this with Mal is like, this is not something I want to do for the rest of my life. Yeah. So that's why she gave the ultimatum in the first place. Now Mal's, in the period of them being with Lexi, was like, oh, well, there was some maturity shown. And also, like, that first or second night when Yoly and Mal were together, Mal, like, cooked breakfast for Yoly, and, it really showed that she was stepping up to the plate. So, there was that, and I think Mal was trying to say, like, I'm being committed, I'm here, whereas Yoly was like, this is a phase. So she was really doubting, and part of that doubt may have been the fact that she's really checked out the relationship. The minute she met Xander, she had checked out.
Which makes me think that it really lends more credence to this idea that something had happened beforehand. Yeah, because I can't imagine you come in here, you love this person so much, you want to marry them, you spend 1 minute away from them, and you've completely fallen in love. It doesn't make sense.
But yeah, to me, that relationship,
It was doomed.
it was doomed. And when it got to the engagement, I was expecting Yoly to be like, no. And then...
Before we get to the engagement,
Yeah.
though, I just wanted to talk about the reunion that you were talking about briefly. When Xander and Yoly come back together, honestly, it felt like a scene from a book.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, no, these two people love each, they're obsessed with each other. There was a point where, because obviously they're in front of people, they're trying to, like, play it down.
The hand-holding.
The hand-holding, but Yoly, like, presses her foot against Xander, and she's like, can you feel that? And Xander's like, yeah, I'm right here with you. And I was like...
It's crazy. I mean...
But also, in front of your girlfriend.
That was a mess. I was going to say, on going back, is probably more toxic, but it was Kwame and Chelsea from Love is Blind series. The last series.
They wish they were that fairy tale.
They wish they had that connection, because the hand-holding...
Moving out of the way, being like, back up a bit, so they're not in like, anyone's eye line, and they can just like staring at each other and lovingly,
it was
and be
nuts.
like, and then at one point it's on just like, should we do this? Should we run away together? And Yoly's like, yeah, let's do it.
I do think
that's why I thought they were not, that she was gonna say no to Mal.
Yeah, so okay, but I still felt, and I still think now that Xander was a bit more into it than Yoly was. I don't think it was clear with the like engagement part.
So we get to the engagement.
Yep.
Mal proposes still, regardless of the fact that Yoly's told her. Oh, the fact that Yoly says at the engagement, I love somebody else. She said, that's okay, we can work for it.
It was mess.
Yoly then says yes. Yoly then says, I need to go and see Xander. If I was Mal, I'd be like, we're all going to see Xander. Yeah. I just don't know how Mal, the stomach, to me, you must not like her that much.
No, because she kept saying, oh, I want you to have the closure conversation. But they kept on closing the conversation so many times.
You must not like her that much, because I honestly cannot get my head around, I love you, and you're telling me you're in love with someone else, and now you're going to them to what? To do what?
Yeah.
Anyway, Yoly goes to see Xander, and then spends the next hour, it feels like, trying to tell Xander, I've chosen Mal, but also being like, I can't let go of you, but also being like, I've chosen Mal, but also being like, I love you so much. It was honestly heartbreaking to watch, especially as it was getting to the point where like they were trying to get away from the cameras, and Xander's, the other Xander's like, I think you guys got enough. That
was very real.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was very
what? Because it sucks to get rejected, first of all. Then to get rejected on camera, then to have the person keep coming back.
Yeah.
Because I kept on feeling when she was like, wait, no, Xander, wait. I was like, she's going to say, Xander, I want to be with you. She was like, I'm just so sorry.
Sorry, I'm like, fam. That moment
bitch.
That moment felt very, very real. And like, yeah, you're right. Each moment, each time, I kept thinking, this is the moment that Yoly's going to break up the engagement. And one of the things I was going to say is that when Mal and Yoly proposed, I think it was the second to last episode, before the reunion there. And so when they did a kind of like throw forward to the next episode, they did show that Yoly was on the perch crying. So I was thinking,
and walking with Xander.
Oh yeah. So I was like, oh, this is not this engagement between Yoly and Mal is not gonna last long. But then she just went back to Xander, going, I'm so sorry. I said yes to Mal. I knew Yoly wasn't there for 100%. Honestly, you
can't be crying your eyes out about one person and agreeing to marriage is such a big thing. It's not like you're saying I'm picking you over you. Like, it's not like Love Island where it's like I was coupled up with you, but now someone else is trying to couple up with me, and I promise that we'll still get to know each other, but I am going to get to know you. It's not like that. This is marriage. This is having babies and getting a mortgage and fucking wills and changing our names. Like, this is serious. So then we get to the reunion. We get to the reunion, and whoever's idea it was to have the couples not sitting together.
Genius. Because when they sat there, when they put them all together, I was like, what is going on? And then the host announces like, one side is the people that gave the ultimatum, and one side is for the people that received the ultimatum.
I like that look.
Yeah, I like
that. Okay.
Yeah, it was a nice teaser. Cause I was like, in my head, I was like, they all broke up, and I was like, you know what? That's how these shows go.
Yeah. So we get to the reunion now, and Mal's like, yeah, so Yoly made me feel like the relationship was not what it was. Yoly was telling me that she was going to Xander to break up with Xander, but now I'm seeing that she was moving to Xander. First of all, anyone who had eyes could see that she wanted to fuck Xander at that reunion.
Fam.
You came over at one point. This is the thing that we forgot to say. At one point, Xander and Yoly are basically holding hands. Mal comes over, she's like, hey. And Yoly's like, can you go away, please?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Can you just give us 5 minutes? Like, please, can you just go? Please, I'm begging you to trust me. Can you just go away? And then Mal's like, yeah, I trusted her. I was like, what did you think I was going to do?
No, come on.
Obviously, I was doing something shady because otherwise, why would I not want you there?
Yeah.
I would spend time with my other girlfriend. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
So they left the show. They were together. And then a couple of weeks later, Mal said, I don't want to be with you anymore. And broke up with Yoly.
Yeah.
Yoly says that they went on a holiday. They came back from the holiday and Mal moved out.
Yeah.
It sounds like it was quite painful, actually,
Yeah.
not as mature as the Mal that we've set up so far.
No.
But I knew from when she was wearing that shirt with all the buttons open, I was like, Mal's become a nightmare.
Also,
become a fucking nightmare.
Again, a throwback to Love is Blind when Paul wore that heartbreak t-shirt. Like, people are really trying to be doing communication through their style.
Mal came and said, I'm a Casanova now. I'm out here getting bare girls. I was like, I don't like this Mal, if I'm being completely honest.
Absolutely.
I also didn't like the Mal that was begging.
No.
But at least I was like, I kind of see that, like, I can get her. But at the reunion, Mal was giving us a lot of attitude, which was great for the reunion. I'm not going to lie. But in the Mal Yoly of it all, it was very murky what the story was. Then Vanessa, because she's a snake, was like, oh, Yoly and Xander tried to get together.
I mean, perfectly honest, if Vanessa didn't say it, I would have expected the host to ask.
If Vanessa didn't say it, we all was thinking they must have.
Yeah.
These people said they were in love with each other. So if you're not with me anymore, who am I going to go to next? The other person that I'm in love with, isn't it? Why would I go start moving to someone new? Because the person I know who already likes me.
Yeah.
So apparently they went to Coachella. Nothing happened.
I
think they probably fooled around in Coachella, but at the end they were like, time's passed. Which makes sense.
Do you think a lot of it... Okay. Going back to some of our early
4 months ago.
Yeah, but going back to some of the early conversation we had about, like, being on TV, do you think that being on the show heightened the relationship for Yoly and Xander so that when the cameras were gone, it maybe dampened their real feelings towards each other? I think some of that can feel heightened when you know there's a camera there and, like, not necessarily being performative, but you feel this. I don't know. I feel sometimes if you're aware of your external surroundings, it may heighten feelings.
See, I don't think it's the camera. I think it's being sequestered. I think it's having to spend... Like, in real life, you could have a partner, right?
Yeah.
You're not seeing that person every day, all day, every day.
No.
So you could date that person for 6 months and have seen them for the same amount of time that Yoly and Xander were together 24/7.
That's very true.
So I think it's the being sequestered, being stuck together, and just not being in the real world because you're in this bubble.
Yeah.
In real life, yes, of course, they went to Coachella. Yoly's friends were there. Xander's friends were there. They probably looked at each other's friends and thought, oof.
Yeah, maybe.
Their friends were then like, are you sure this was the girl? Because you said that she was like, but she's actually, she's mid. And then you're out, and then you realise, you know what? There are so many fucking people in the world. Because I don't doubt for a second that you can fall in love. Like, we talked about this with Love Island. I think we've talked about this with Love Island before. But in general, about, like, if someone says, this is the dating pool.
Yeah.
This here. You will probably be like, I've decided I'm in love with Francis.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something about the way Francis moves. But when you're out in the real world again, you're like, Francis who?
Yeah, be for real.
Francis who?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There's a billion men out there. That's why I'm swiping on... I'll be swiping on Hinge until I die because I'm like, you or the guy that's right behind you. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think it's...
If Marty said, make a decision with the 5 men in front of you.
You have to make one.
And I could make it like that.
I think, you know what?
I could make it like that. In real life, I'm in an R. If you said, these are the 5 men, I'd be like, I'm done.
So, sometimes it makes life easier, but...
That's one.
What I will say is, I found it so hard to believe that there was nothing there because of what we saw on the show. Yeah. Because it felt so, like...
No,
I don't want to say, and some people hate when I say it, but the soul tie of it felt like it was really connected. Molly's eyes rolled up to the heavens and came back down, but like it felt very connected, like, and especially because they'd known each other for such a short period of time.
I absolutely did.
So that's why it was like, we came out to the real world. It was like, nah. I was like, then what was it? Was it physical? Because there was a lot of physicality to their relationship.
I think they tried. Both of them acted like, we went on a holiday just to spend time together. Wrong. That was an attempt to try and recreate the magic, and it just wasn't there anymore for one of them. Yeah. But they were very respectful, both of them saying, we both Like, they did not want to share. And I get why they didn't want to share, because why am I sharing in front of haters? Vanessa and Mal are haters.
I felt Mal was less of a hater. Vanessa was definitely enemy of progress.
Number one
enemy
hater
of progress.
In this place.
Yeah.
But Mal being like, I never heard that you guys went to Hawaii. I never heard that you guys went to Hawaii. Why do I need to tell you if I went to Hawaii? We're not together anymore. It's not my business.
I mean, I'll be honest, it's hard because part of me really wanted to root for Mal because I felt sorry for them. But in the same breath, I was like you said, stand up.
Also, something about this thing. Those people, everybody's met somebody who's like, yeah, I'm just in this relationship that's so dramatic. Yeah. And you feel sorry for them until the third or fourth time they're hearing a story. I'm like, sorry, you keep dating this dramatic ass person.
Again, I think when we do kind of a bit of a summary and overview of the couples, there was always someone that was reaching, and there was always someone that was settling. And I think you saw it very clearly in this relationship. There was Mal was reaching and Yoly was settling. Yeah. Full stop. While we're talking, do we just want to move on to Vanessa and Xander?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, Vanessa and Xander.
We talked a lot about Vanessa already, but you know.
Vanessa, basically, all you need to know about this couple to understand everything that comes afterwards is that Vanessa came onto this show because she wanted to be on the show.
She's an actress, right? Because she was giving me she was acting so badly.
She was an influencer, actor, whatever music.
She was acting for me.
She brought Xander, or Xander brought her on the show because Xander's the one who made the ultimatum.
Oh, really?
And Vanessa said, I'm not fast. Xander's not going to pick anyone over me. It is what it is. So in her head, she was like, I've come on this show to perform that I'm doing the ultimatum. But ultimately, at the end of this, me and Xander are walking off into the sunset.
Mm.
As soon as they got there, Vanessa's doing up flirt. She thinks she's getting everyone around her little finger. And in that first episode, she seems to be having the most fun dates, the most successful dates. But interestingly, by the evening, a lot of people have removed themselves from the running of dating Vanessa, and she's just left with Lexi and Ray. At one point, she was thinking about Mal, but Mal was like, yeah, I'm going to bow out.
I think because, again, just hearing Vanessa speak, she didn't sound genuine.
No.
She sounded fake.
She, like, as Lexi said, there were no stakes for her, so she was just out here trying to meet people.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I think Xander, for the first time out of this relationship, because they were put together for 4 years, and both of them, it felt like they were their first proper relationship as queer people. Xander's out in the world of realising lots of other people find them attractive. Yeah. And lots of other people want to be good to them. Yeah. Loads of other people want to hear what they've got to say. Yeah. And I think immediately Xander's like, oh, this thing with me and Vanessa isn't good. Yeah. It's just not good. No. Everyone keeps telling me it's not good, but like, I would never have known. I genuinely do not think Xander would have known had she not entered this. Oh yeah, I agree. This show. Yeah. Because how steadfast she was for being like, I'm giving the ultimatum because I love her. I want to spend my life with her. She's my life partner. Then matches up with Yoly. I was like, hey man. Yeah. I could do life with Yoly. I said, oh. It changed so quickly. So quickly. And I think it was just for like being away from Vanessa, because for Vanessa is this like, she sucks all the air out of the room. Yeah, she really does tap that energy. So I can't imagine. I imagine it's probably really hard for Xander to have a thought of her own. Yeah. When Vanessa is around. I don't know if it's really crazy to say. One thing about the ultimatum queer love was, for me, it felt like we were seeing a lot more sex than we did in the original ultimatum. I also think that people didn't have as much sex in that show. Probably, yeah, no. And, you know, the way that they showed it on the show was like night vision glasses or scenes where you see the camera, and it's very similar. If you watch Married at First Sight, it was given this kind of vibes. Or even Love Island, like the mattress when shaking. The hideaway, yeah. And it was something that came up as I was watching it. There was a way, and there's a difference between the sex scenes, and it sounds really crazy, sex scenes between Xander and Yoly and Xander and Vanessa. Like, Xander felt like she was in more control. It's so weird for me to say this, but Xander looked like she was taking more control of those scenes or those moments. With Yoly. Whereas, at times... Oh, actually, no, sorry, it's the other way around. Yoly felt like Xander felt more or looked more relaxed
like letting Yoly do things to her. This is very weird, but it was something I noticed because we, as viewers, we were seeing this in real time or in the show. But then with Vanessa, she was taking a lot more control, or she had to, because Vanessa's quite needy. And I felt like she desperately wanted Xander to kind of like be in control. Whereas with Yoly, they seemed more comfortable. And that's something that's from a physical standpoint. And then when you flip it onto like the way that they communicated with Yoly, it was just different. It was really different. I'm not saying rewind and watch those scenes again, but just it was small things that I noticed. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat. But it was just something very like specific. And also we saw so much. So like, yeah.
Yeah, we did see a lot of the sexes, I thought, between Vanessa and Xander.
Oh my god. The daylight one.
We saw a lot.
The daylight one when she was topless and straddling.
Which I don't know if we needed to see, but I guess it was interesting because it was like, yeah, they seem like they're having sex more than Yoly and Xander had sex, but at the end, it didn't save your relationship.
No.
The sex in and of itself isn't enough. But what was really interesting about Xander and Vanessa when they got back together is how much that relationship revolved around what Vanessa wanted and what Vanessa felt. Yeah. Even when they got to the engagement and Xander said, we are not right for each other right now.
That was the first time I like heard them like speak up.
Xander was crying the whole time. She cried a lot, actually. Yeah. But when it came time to Vanessa to speak, Vanessa said, I'm so happy we've known each other. I'm a better person when I'm with you. I feel like I really listened to her speech and I said, you haven't said a single thing about why Xander is perfect for you beyond what you get out of Xander loving you. Yeah. I can't accept that you're not my soulmate. I saw us walking into Xander. I was like, damn. You really do suck. Yeah. Like, you really do suck. Like, the fact that Xander's put up with this for 4 years, I don't even know if it's a hats off to her or she needs therapy. Because this is your one moment, right? Yeah. To show all of us at home that you truly love this. Even at the reunion, I was heartbroken because Xander was my best friend and I've had to live without her for like... How do you think fucking... You don't let the girl speak and you also don't speak for her. It's just the Vanessa show from 8 a.m. in the morning till 8 o'clock.
It's exhausting, and you could tell on Xander's face.
That's why she was crying all the damn time. Yeah, because she was like, how hard it is to tell you anything because you just don't even let me speak. Yeah, they had no business being together.
Oh no, 100%.
They were not right for each other.
The thing is, because on the Ultimatum, you don't really see a lot of the pre-couple. Like they do at the beginning of episode 1, they all do their confessionals and talking heads where they talk about how long they've been together, when they got together, and why they're doing the ultimatum. And that's pretty much it. You don't really see much of the dynamic pre the ultimatum. And I really wish we saw a little bit of the dynamic for us to understand as to why they were in a relationship to begin with. Because it was giving me vibes of Xander was queer and came out. Vanessa and queer came out, and they were each other's first relationship. They probably live in a very small town. And so, and they were friends. They were friends before, weren't they?
No, their boyfriends were friends.
So
that's how they knew each other.
I didn't know Xander had a boyfriend.
They had boyfriends in high school. Yeah, that's how they met. And then they went off to college. And they came back, bumped into each other again.
Came out together.
And both of them were out at that moment in time, so they started dating.
Yeah, and I think it's. A lot of TV shows where they make the jokes of like,
Vanessa had come out, but Xander was
still like. Yeah.
Not quite out yet.
So, like, they always make the jokes on all these TV shows, and I'm watching Ginny and Georgia, and one of the jokes was like, oh, just because this other person's gay doesn't mean we have to get together. But I feel like Xander and Vanessa, it felt like they were in this world, and in their spheres and their bubbles, they were the only two people that were queer, and hence they got together.
I got the impression that they just really liked the story of it. Like, they like being able to tell people, oh, we met when we were... Yeah. But it's straight. Can you imagine that? We must have liked each other because here we are now. Yeah. I think they just really love that story. Because you're right, I'm sure they maybe they also came from a really small town, but he'd gone off to college. Yeah. I'm sure there were other queer people at your college.
Potentially, yeah.
But I just think those queer people, that story wasn't as... Because there's a bit where Xander's talking about how she dated a a woman, like a blonde woman or something. And Vanessa's like, it's the first time I'm hearing of this. Who was this? And she's like, somebody I met on Bumble. So I said, clearly this person has had a life before they met
yeah,
you.
maybe, yeah. Cause also, but the way that two of them presented themselves was like, they're very early in their journeys and they hadn't had as much experience in queer relationships. Cause that's how they were behaving.
Well, actually, to be fair, Vanessa said that she was pansexual.
Oh yeah, she did, didn't she?
So actually, for Vanessa, perhaps this was the first woman she had dated, but she was, you know, technically out before Xander because it's like, oh, I'm saying I could date men and women and trans people, but I might find that I'm only dating men at the moment.
Yeah.
And then I meet you, and then I'm with you, and we can go on queer lovers. We can go on the queer ultimatum, but you might be fully gay. You might. I'm sorry, that's the wrong way to phrase it. You might be gay, and I might be pansexual, and that is another hurdle to, I guess, to cross in and of itself, because, like, you got to be doing eyes in the back of your head about everybody I interact with. Apparently, because Vanessa is such a fucking flirt as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm genuinely surprised that they made it to 4 years without anything
big happen. Well, apart from them having to go on the ultimatum.
Yeah, apart from them having to go.
For me, this couple didn't make any sense. And when when Xander said that they don't want to be with Vanessa, I got it. I was like, makes sense. This wasn't a relationship, and Xander's had ultimately been with Yoly since the minute they met Yoly.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to flag before we get to the reunion. Not that there was much to really say at reunion. They're still not together, and they don't really talk. But it seems like maybe post the reunion they might. Yeah. They meet up. Xander and Vanessa meet up with Vanessa's dad.
Oh yes.
You met Vanessa and Ray.
Yeah.
Vanessa's like, I'm ready to get married now. And marry Xander, but Xander's feeling it with Yoly, and the dad was like, do you want to marry Xander, or do you just want to win?
The parents really gave.
Yeah, the parents were. They were saying, all of you are stupid.
Yeah.
All of you are making bad decisions.
I 100% agree with the dad.
Yeah. He, you know, I think him of all people probably knows what he's talking about, because they seem quite similar as people.
Yeah.
And he said, listen, I've been where you're at.
Yeah. There
was a woman I thought was going to lose her, so I proposed to her. I married her. I didn't want to marry her. I just didn't want to lose her.
Yeah.
It's not the right reason to marry someone. And I was just like, with all due respect, I think we're in a different position. You're in the exact same position, and he's right.
Yeah.
You only want her because you're so mad about this Yoly thing. You're saying now you want to get married. You were not saying that. Up until then, you're like, I can't be tied down. I'm a person who needs to be out in the world. Marriage isn't for me. Now suddenly you are ready to get married, and you want to get married now.
Yeah, I was like, be for real. That was when the dad was saying that. I was like, I can see and what everything I can see what he's saying, and it's 100% right. Vanessa's very competitive. She wants the narrative to be positive.
She wants the narrative to be. She also wants to be the main character. Like, the idea of Xander not choosing her is like, how dare Xander have a choice over this situation? I've decided it's you, so you. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, should we move on?
Who's next?
Next is Tiffany. Sorry.
And Mildred.
Yeah. Tiff and Mildred.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I want to say something. We have to do better as people of colour. To not blame our tempers on being people of colour.
Yeah.
Whatever Mildred has experienced in her life has created the person that we meet today. She keeps trying to say, I'm a hot-tempered person because I'm Latina. Latinas are hot. We love to argue. I don't think that's true.
No.
And even if you like to argue, you have to have the sense to see, this has gone too far.
Yeah.
I could take a step back. And also, just because you like to argue doesn't mean you can't say sorry.
Oh, 100%.
You can argue and be apologetic. I think the thing that really tells you about Mildred is when she said, when I was married before, my partner wouldn't listen to me. And it made me feel like I wasn't valid and I wasn't here and that my opinion didn't matter. And that is why she can't help but talk now. Because she thinks that is the answer, right? Yeah. I won't be silent, so I'm just going to talk. But Mildred will talk in a way regardless of the way that it's going to be received by the other person.
Yeah.
And in her relationship with Tiff, what happens usually is Tiff bites back.
Yeah.
So the two of them just get into screaming matches. And they apparently like that.
Yeah.
Because they have loud arguments and they have loud sex and everything's perfect.
I think so. For context, Mildred is the one that gave the ultimatum.
Yeah.
And Tiff was the receiver.
Mildred has been married before. She has a teenage son.
Yeah.
She's decided she's ready to get married.
Yeah, exactly. And when we first were introduced to this couple, Tiff was the one that was giving me opinionated and a bit angry. So if you were going to tell me between the two of them, who was going to be the one that was the most argumentative, I thought it was Tiff. We learned that it was actually Mildred.
It's both of them.
I mean,
they're both as bad
terrible,
as each other. They're genuinely both as bad as each other. Like, I really wanted to feel sorry for Tiff.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what has gone... I don't think that Mildred is arguing in a vacuum, right?
Oh, yeah.
You are arguing with her. And that's not to say that you then deserve to have a fucking frame thrown at you, whatever the hell it was. Like, that's completely uncalled for and out of order. But you could see how ready she was to bite back when in her trial relationship with Sam.
Yes.
Talking about the dog. All Sam said was, I don't feel comfortable with the dog in the bed. The next thing you know, I don't want to be with someone who doesn't like dogs.
Yeah.
I think you're a bad person.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It was wild. It was wild.
She's screaming at Sam and Sam's just standing there.
Yeah.
Sam doesn't say anything. Tiff literally has an argument with herself. And that to me is a person that you could say that's a person who's been in such a toxic relationship for such a long time that she doesn't realise that any type of conflict doesn't have to result in the screaming match. Or you could say this is also a person who, and I listen, you know, it's possible for you to be, I'm not saying she's a bad person at all, but I'm saying that the conflict styles that she's learned is you scream and you fight, and then that is the thing dealt with.
Yeah.
But actually it's not dealt with at all. And so then both of them have work to do. It seems like slowly over time, Tiff coupling up with Sam, so Tiff couples up with Sam and Mildred couples up with Aussie, who are originally a couple as well. Yeah. It feels like Tiff is growing from this relationship with Sam. And Tiff has got to a point where she decided she wants to marry Mildred.
Yeah. Before
that though, this was a red flag for me.
Go on.
At the coupling, everyone has to pick someone who is to couple up with.
Yeah.
It gets to Tiff's turn. She is uncontrollably sobbing. I can't do it. The only person I want to be with is Mildred. I love Mildred. I would die for Mildred. At which point Mildred leaves the room. Because Mildred is like, I've been with this person for how long? They've never spoken about me or spoken to me like that. And now conveniently everyone's here and someone else is going to pick me, and that's when you want to be doing up crying, I love you so much, I would die for you. It's so awkward because equally, I don't know how I'd feel if I saw my partner crying like that.
Yeah.
I want to go to you, but I feel like you're being manipulative in this moment. And I was like, yeah, these two people are not in a position, one, to get married or be on the show at the moment.
I mean, that being said, I have been waiting, and not just with this series, but previous Ultimatum seasons and franchises like the France one and the US one, to see if we're going to have what happened in series 1 where, you know,
everyone starts trying to propose to people.
Yeah, exactly. Where the proposals happened with the original couples. So I was actually also thinking at one point, well, Tiff and Mildred, like,
but she didn't even propose. She was just sad. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, maybe he's gonna be.
Yeah. So that to me, I was a bit confused with this couple to begin with, and then Mildred coupled up with Aussie, and that is where we started to see a bit of a breakdown in communication with Aussie, because I think we can move on to Aussie in the next couple. But when it came to Mildred, she wanted to talk things out, but the way that she wanted to talk things out could come across as quite confrontational and a bit manipulative and condescending, and that's what caused Aussie to push back and say Aussie doesn't want to be part of this. You know,
it's really interesting that you say that, because I, in that moment, actually identified more with Mildred in that, like, there's a problem here, and it feels like whenever I bring up the problem, you just shut it down. Yeah. So you're kind of leaving me no other option but to keep bringing it up, or to be like, no, I want to talk about this now, because you're not telling me when you're ready to talk. And I don't know how long I need to wait.
Yeah.
Like, Aussie is a very particular person, and I would not have worked with Aussie.
No.
Because if I'm trying to talk to you and you walk out of the room...
Yeah. Oh, that's the end. I mean, to me, it's like, there's a lack of maturity.
Call the police and get rid of the show. I'm going to need to go in either in house or a body bag, because... How is that okay?
Yeah.
When Aussie wants to talk, though, you need to sit there and listen and be smiling and be happy to hear it. So everything is on your terms. I can't do that.
Yeah. And I think that's why Mildred pushed back and said, no, I want to say something and you need to hear that.
And then Aussie said, okay, I don't want to, so I'm going to pack a whole bag and leave the whole show.
And at that time, I kept on feeling sorry for Mildred. I was like, look, it's not fair for her to be in this situation.
Why can't we have a conversation?
Yeah, I did feel for Mildred. Then when they got back into the original couple with Tiff and Mildred, it became apparently clear that there was some communication issues from both sides with Aussie and Mildred. And
Tiff and Mildred?
No, with that, why...
Back in their original couples?
Yeah, no, so I mean, going back, like, Aussie and Mildred... They had some communication issues, and I thought, it was just Aussie. I always assumed it was just Aussie. But actually going and seeing Mildred going back into a relationship with Tiff, it was clear that they both had issues. And Mildred had some issues around communication. And so that's where you used to see this really fiery ups, like discussions and arguments between Tiff and Mildred, where Mildred would say things like, I'm Latino and this is how we express ourselves. Which is not an excuse and it's nonsense. No. And Tiff is like, no, you can't use your ethnicity as a reason for you to be annoyed. And also, like, if we want to have a mature relationship, marriage, that was their end goal, like, we need to know how to communicate.
There was also this crazy moment, and that's when I was like, I just don't think you guys should get married, where they're having this heart-to-heart, and Mildred says, I've been married before. And now that I think about it, I don't know if I was ever in love with my partner.
Wild.
Mildred turns around and goes, you never loved them? She said, I don't know. It didn't feel like how it feels with us.
Yeah.
And it felt like what she was trying to vocalise is like, the way I feel about you is not what I felt about them. But at the time, I felt so strongly about that thing.
Yeah.
At the state that it was, I wanted to marry them. So that should tell you how strongly I feel about you, that I love you even more than I love that person. I think we should get married. That's what it felt like. Amongst that, she's not said it in the most succinct way, but it didn't feel like she was trying to be shady and be like, fuck that other person, I just love you. What's her name? Tiff would not stop going on about it.
Oh, no.
So how can you marry someone you don't love? She's like, well, at the time I did think I loved them. She's like, yeah, but you marry someone you don't love. She's like, well, what I'm saying is at the time I did think that I loved him. It's like, how can you marry someone you don't love? And I was like, I feel like you're goading her. Because if I was her, I would also start to lose my temper because you're deliberately not hearing me now. She's like, I don't know if I could be with someone who would marry someone that they didn't love. What do you want me to say right now? That I love them as much as I love you. And I still divorced them, so I guess we'll get divorced as well. Like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Then she's talking about how can you be a good mom?
Yeah, that's when it starts to get a bit wild because I didn't even know they had a conversation around children.
I was like, Tiff, I'm so sorry, but how have we got here?
Yeah.
And then she was like, yeah, no, all these questions feel like they follow on from each other. I was like, you have blown out of proportion what she said in the first instance. And now you're talking about me as a parent. Yeah. And then I'm supposed to not lose my temper because absolutely you're goading me. And that's what I feel like their relationship was.
Yeah.
It was Tiff goading her, Mildred losing her temper, going completely off the handle, then having to grovel back to Tiff, I guess, because you've obviously gone too far. Now you feel bad. They patch things up, they have sex, everything's good. And then within a week, we're back where we were again.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And so I was definitely surprised when Tiff got down on one knee and said, let's get married.
Yeah, to me, I was like, it must be for the show. It must be for the show.
Yeah, I think she just loved I swear, they're two people who love the drama.
Oh, yeah.
Tiff is your friend who you know every single time you meet her, she's going to tell you about how she dated someone who's fucking crazy. And you're going to keep being like, what is it with you meeting all these crazy people?
Yeah.
The truth is, it's you.
Yeah.
It's you. You're crazy.
It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
I think it's me high, isn't it?
Oh, either way. I'm the problem.
So let me get to reunion.
Oh yeah, get to that.
And Mildred, it gets to Mildred and Tiff, and Mildred has stories. She said Tiff was cheating on her in her own house. Tiff hated her son. Tiff called the police on her because she threw a frame at her.
Yeah, wild.
Tiff was bringing girls back and fucking them in the house. Tiff had all these sex toys. Tiff sitting there being like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. You are gaslighting me right now. Mildred is
laying into her.
Well, I wouldn't even say laying into her. Whether Mildred's story is real or not, she's rehearsed it. Like, she's not coming off book. I will continue along the story that I'm telling. You're not going to cut me off.
Yeah.
Tiff is trying to fight to defend herself, basically. Mildred's not trying to hear it. And then Tiff gets so emotional that she walks off the show. Sam and Aussie, I was like, you're stirring it for no reason. But basically, Aussie was like, you know what, hearing this story is just making me think about when I was with Mildred.
You were barely there, fam. Sit down.
Exactly. She's like the gaslighting and yeah, it was abusive and toxic. So then Sam, who wasn't there at all, but I've heard stories from Aussie, decides to go and check on Mildred. Yeah. Mildred is doing the same crime she did when she was crying, begging for Mildred to not couple up with someone else. Yeah. Saying that Mildred's gaslighting her. She paid her way in the flat. Yeah, she didn't get on with her son, but she tried. Blah, blah. Mildred's making her out to be a bad guy. She's not. She leaves. Yeah. The internet is divided. Well, the internet is not divided. The internet has decided they believe. Well, no, it's not even belief because, to be fair, Mildred said, yeah, I did throw that thing at her.
But they're supporting Tiff.
They're supporting Tiff.
If I be perfectly honest, when I watched that argument, I felt for Tiff too. Because I think it was, maybe there's a bit of a trigger where I think why Tiff was so frustrated was the idea of not being heard. And the problem with Tiff is that she kept on asking question after question after question. She's not listening to the previous response. Or not as effectively as she could. And so I felt like Mildred was really laying into Tay. Oh.
Wake up! Wake up about Mildred laying into Tay.
Was really laying into Tiff. And as a result, Tiff is in this space where they can't actually defend themselves. They can't say anything because Mildred's going to keep on talking. And even if they want to say something, Mildred is like, sorry, I haven't finished yet. The girl will never finish.
I get it.
I've been in arguments with people like that, and it's just so frustrating.
I get it. But I feel like I've also been in situations with people like Tiff who just turn on the waterworks.
Yeah.
They turn on the waterworks. Because if you know once someone starts crying, you can't say anything to them.
Yeah.
Everyone's, oh, she's crying, leave her alone. And it's so tricky, right? And that's exactly the problem with reality TV is that, like, you identify with who you identify with. And you view that scene how you view it. And those people are the same people. Like, I watched that and I said, damn, we'll never know, but this is juicy AF.
Yeah.
Then there are people who've gone online now. Mildred is an abuser. Mildred is this, Mildred is that. We all stand with Tiff. Tiff is the victim. Honey, we weren't there.
No, we don't know what happened.
Honey, we weren't there.
Tiff brought our YouTube video.
Mildred put her hand up and said, I did the thing you said that I did.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here saying I never did the thing.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't have done that. But what I'm saying is, you have done a myriad of things to me to get me to that point. Yeah, you can say it doesn't matter what someone does to you, should never result to physical violence. But if I'm a parent and you're saying you hate my son, we're going to have a problem. Not a physical problem, but we're going to have a problem. So I just think that situation is complicated.
I agree.
We will never know both sides of it. It's easy to get on Mildred because, yeah, she was confrontational. But I feel like people are giving Tiff a pass in the way that she conducted herself. Because why was she going in on Sam? Sam never did nothing to her.
Yeah, I agree.
So was obviously, she had in her as well a sense of argumentativeness and goading that made their relationship really, really toxic. That now we're like, well, Mildred's the worst and Tiffany's perfect. She's not.
No, I think there's definitely some smoke.
Yeah, nobody is perfect. And I don't think the answer with a relationship like that is to go one is perfect and one isn't. And I don't want to victim blame. I'm not saying she brought it on herself or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that relationship did not strike me as Mildred gets up in the morning and wants to destroy people's lives.
Oh no, I don't think that's the initial objective or plan. I just think it ends up being in the case where there's two toxic people who should not be in a relationship.
Who shouldn't be together.
And it just makes it explosive.
They poke buttons in both of each other's trigger.
And then for them, is nice when you're making up and having the sex, but it is not nice when you're actually seeing this relationship unfold. And you want to have a proper commitment and get married and have kids. Be for real.
Tiffany's friend said it in episode 4 or episode 2, whatever. Mildred and Tiffany are not a good couple.
Full stop. Let's move on to...
So the last couple are Sam and Aussie.
Sam and Aussie.
I really liked Sam.
She was giving me great energy. Meh.
Really chill.
Yeah.
She just seemed really like a genuinely just chill person.
Yeah.
Like, I think the interesting thing with someone like Sam is like, I was like, I can't work out why you're on this show.
Same.
Like, you don't need to be here.
Same. I think the big... I'm going to say the word issue.
Aussie.
the big...
Aussie needed to be on the show. Sam did not.
Aussie did not need to be on the show.
No, Aussie needs help.
Yeah, Aussie, yeah, that's what I mean. And you're not going to get this help on Ultimatum. I think...
maybe a therapist will watch the show and reach out to her and give her free sessions.
I hope to God so. So the person who gave the ultimatum was Sam. Mm-hmm. The person who received the person who received the ultimatum was Aussie. I just want to flag ages, and I'm not trying to be ageism.
Aussie was 40 years old.
Aussie was 42 and Sam was 31. And I'm only saying that as a...
Big sister, little sister.
I didn't say that. I wasn't going to say that, but I was just saying like an observation in terms of like...
They were the only couple that whenever they like were romantic towards each other, like kissing, I was like, this feels really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't buy that you even enjoy this.
No. And also I think with going back to like the therapy question, like look, age doesn't predetermine how much or how little therapy you need. But I think Sam came off so even keeled that it was almost a bit of a surprise with Aussie, and the fact that Aussie's pronoun is Aussie, so that Aussie really needed so much help and guidance in this process. And yeah, to me that's why there was a shock. And when I saw the age gap, I was like, oh, I think it was really interesting to see that dynamic, basically.
I think everything you need to know about Aussie and Sam as people is that Sam grew up in a home that was very accepting of who she is.
Yeah.
And Aussie grew up in a home where they have not been able to be themselves.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
They don't know that Aussie is gay.
Yeah.
They don't know that Aussie has a partner, and they definitely don't know that Aussie is engaged to get married.
I mean, that's crazy now, thinking about the reunion and the fact that they did get engaged. Yeah.
So that wedding is on hold until Aussie can tell their parents. And I just think that, like, as I was watching it, I was like, Aussie deserves love. Everybody deserves love. Yeah. And I think Aussie can get there. But I do not think that this experiment is going to get Aussie to the point where they are ready for this. Because they might, propose, but your parents don't know who you are. I think you're struggling with who you are, even. You feel as well... Your defense mechanism is to just leave any situation that gets difficult.
Run away,
which isn't good enough. That's a child response, not an adult response.
Yeah, and I think it was clear when Aussie matched with Mildred when Aussie walked out, and that was the
more
first
than once.
Instance. Well, more than once actually. And I think it was the second time or the final time. That was the end, and that was like Aussie was like, "I'm out," and then
I thought they weren't coming back.
No, neither did I. And then Aussie did the exact same thing with Sam. And that was where it was like, oh, there is this recurring pattern and you're using this as a type of like coping mechanism when you are in a space where, one, you don't like to be confronted, two, you don't like being told that you're wrong.
Yeah.
And then Aussie had this massive breakdown during a conversation with Sam and her friend. And Aussie was basically just said that a lot of this is rooted in childhood and how Aussie didn't like being wrong, or like Aussie wasn't. What was the main thing? Like
felt like they were always made to feel like they were wrong.
Yeah.
And so whenever anyone is like, you did something wrong, it just they immediately get defensive and blow up and want to remove themselves from the situation.
Yeah, and Aussie can't speak their mind, and you know, basically it was like, okay, this is real deep seated issues, which is always good to see and have that breakthrough moment and say, you know, it's me, I'm the problem, it's me. And that's
the second time as well.
What was it? It's me.
Hi.
Okay, problem, it's me. Either way, you're the problem. But it's good that you're aware of that. But do you have to do it on this experiment? No. And do you have to do it at the detriment of this relationship you have with Sam? No.
I think that, like, I talk to one of our friends about this all the time because both of us are in therapy, and it's like, I am in therapy to make myself a better person for me, but also to make myself a better person for the people that have to interact with me. And I find it so interesting that Aussie has made it to 42.
Yeah.
And is basically still a child, right? Those wounds you've carried around with you for 42 years.
Yeah.
And has no impulse naturally within themselves. This is all because they don't want to lose Sam now.
Yeah.
To deal with that.
Yeah.
You don't think sometimes when it's like, I wish I could articulate myself.
Yeah.
I should go figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
That's not occurred to you.
No.
You are actually happy to just be like, I'm going to walk away from
Yeah.
every situation that is difficult for me. That's what made me scared. I said, why am I doing all this work to better myself when there are people out here finding love doing nothing? Maybe I should just be my crazy damn self. No, for real. Maybe I should just be my problematic self and then wait for someone who's going to be like, but I love her. I'm willing to wait for her to figure out her shit. No. Maybe that's just I also feel like it's also not a luxury we have as people of colour. Like,
no, fam, sort yourself
we have
out.
to be perfect.
Yeah.
We don't have time to be breaking down and doing all of this. And Sam is an incredibly patient person because the thing about Aussie's wound is that for me, it would press on my wound.
Yeah.
Like, I have an issue about being abandoned. So if I'm expressing to you, I feel some type of way, and then you get up and leave, I don't trust you anymore. So I don't feel safe with you. So this relationship's not going to work.
Yeah.
I will never trust you. I would never. It would take another 10 years for you to build that trust with me. So like, Aussie's just been lucky, and I imagine Aussie's been through a lot of people who didn't put up with that and has managed to find someone that will.
Yeah.
And it feels sad because Sam could be with anyone.
Oh, 100%. I feel that Sam has a very secure attachment. I'm not diagnosing her, but just from what we saw on the show, she seems a lot more secure in who
Well
she
adjusted.
is. Yeah. And I think a lot of, like you said, a lot of that is to do with she, in terms of her sexuality, in terms of her identity. I think she very much knows who she is.
Yeah, and has been accepted. She said that.
Yeah.
I grew up in a loving home where my parents were 100% behind me.
Yeah.
They've always encouraged me to be myself. Everybody loves me.
Yeah.
And it's so, I think that's the sad thing about watching the two of them. It's like, and then Aussie's had the exact opposite situation. And of the two of them, I probably identify more with Aussie.
Yeah.
But that walking away thing makes my blood boil.
No,
it's
true.
so unpleasant.
Annoying. And I think it's one of those things where, like, Aussie, I don't think Aussie sees the issue.
No.
Until Mildred is like, nah, fam, you can't mess me around like that. And the minute Mildred pushes back, and we've said it before in the last couple, that Mildred is quite a tough person to be around.
Aussie's,
but Aussie can't take it.
Mildred, because what Aussie wanted was, the first time when I walked out, drop it.
Yeah.
Drop it, don't bring it up again.
And Mildred's like...
the next time they see each other, they've had a pleasant time at the reunion, and then Mildred brings it up. Yeah. And Aussie says, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So what you want is to misbehave and then have nobody ever comment on it again. And it's just, you're asking a lot from another person to be like, ignore your feelings. Yeah. You're never going to get to express them to me. And also, I don't want you to ever call me out. Okay? Yeah. That's the way this relationship's going to work.
There's a level of pride, like, I'm right. Like, I'm right. Or not even right, it's like, I know who I am. I am who I am. I'm Aussie, and then that's it.
But I think that's the thing that's so... Maybe it's because I'm really empathetic, but, I'm just like a massive empath. But I can't imagine myself feeling good about the fact that I am asking someone to be less of themselves so I can feel better about myself.
You talking about Aussie or Sam?
Aussie.
Yeah.
Like, do not feel bad about the fact that basically for this relationship to work, you have to be number one and that person always has to be secondary to you. And you feel good about that.
Yeah.
You don't, like, Aussie doesn't even process the fact that it would make someone else feel upset.
Yeah.
All they are interested in is how they feel in the moment. I have to go because I don't want to talk about this right now. What would happen if you talked about it? Yeah. Like, realistically, you've told yourself a story now, which is like, I've got to leave. But realistically, nothing will happen to you. You're not going to burst into flames.
No.
Your heart's not going to stop.
Honestly.
No one's going to die.
Yeah.
All that's going to happen is you're going to say, this is how I feel. I'm going to say, this is how I feel. And hopefully, we can come to some sort of understanding. Yeah. Aussie's head is like, no, I'll say how I feel. You'll tell me I'm garbage and I suck. And then I want to kill myself. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the way those conversations go.
It's just very toxic. And that's why... if you told me, like, oh, there's a couple that may not make it, I didn't think Sam and Aussie was going to make it. I
actually actively did not want them to be together.
No, I mean...
I still don't want them to be together.
I'll be perfectly honest. I don't think they're going to make it to the hour.
I just don't. I don't. Like, they're too opposite, and I think Aussie's growing at too slow a rate.
Yes, that's it.
You're asking me to wait for a very long time. It's not fair.
Sam has a level of patience, and I now can't remember what was her, like, key things, but...
She needed to be more vocal.
The ultimatum, she wants to get married.
Yeah, she wants to get married.
Does she want to have kids?
Yeah, I think so.
I think...
But she said she broke up with her previous partner because they went out. And it became a problem.
That's what I just don't see. Unless... Well, the show will help because the whole world knows that Aussie's out. But I just don't buy that.
Hey, her parents in Australia might not have Netflix.
Because
how have we got to reunion? How have we got
to
reunion and they still don't know? Because on a really basic level, you would have said they watched the show.
But I think the reunion was filmed before. Like
everybody got to watch the show.
Yeah, I think that
because Xander said that they had watched the show.
Yeah,
like they had all watched the show.
They had all watched it, but I don't think that the public watched it and you can see in some of the way the questions were framed. Compare it to like a Love Is Blind live reunion. I know is a bad example, but compare it to the questions and how things were talked about in the live reunion. It was very much with the gaze that the public has watched alongside the contestants. Whereas I think with this one, they may have filmed the reunion maybe a week or so before the show fully drops for the public, but everyone would have seen it by then.
Yeah.
So I think maybe by now the family knows, but yeah, when it comes to the engagement.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we just get to my favourite part of this relationship?
I'm going to be honest, because the show has given me some drama, it's given me some confusion.
Some
romance, the sex. But what it gave me that point was humour.
Comedy.
Absolute pure comedy. When Sam and Aussie meet, Aussie starts this speech about, I've been thinking long and hard about this decision, and there's this analogy I wanted to share with you before I make my decision. And they talk about this story around penguins and how when they're mating, they find the perfect rock to give to their partner.
If you're a penguin.
Yeah, I thought it was really cute. And then she said, she asked Sam to, open out her hands and said, this is the rock I want to give to you. This is like a life stone nonsense. I don't know about
there's
crystals.
some sort of crystal.
I don't know much about crystals.
Cultural significance behind it.
And Aussie brought Sam's hand out and put it in her hand. And if I'll be frank, prior to that point, we had seen nothing but engagements. Yeah. So when she was talking about the rock, I was like, oh, this is a beautiful...
Even Sam's face when she starts talking about the rock is like, when are you going to get to it?
Exactly. So when Aussie brings out the rock, we're all assuming it's the engagement ring. Anyway, that rock and that rock moment and the camera panning to the crystal, I was laughing. I was like...
Sam's face? When I tell you Sam was just like...
Honestly.
You could tell she was like, if this rock is not removed from my hand, in the next 5 seconds they're replaced with the ring, the nonsense that will spew from my mouth now, it will make you bold.
I know.
Really think right now, Aussie.
Yeah.
And also the camera crew are going to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
She was really standing there like, is this what you guys brought me here for?
Honestly, I was like, be for real. Is this what you guys
brought me here for? Because I'll fight her and you and you and you and you and Aussie. Everybody's getting fought.
But yeah, so then Aussie eventually...
What I loved was Aussie was like, do you love it? Yes. And Sam just gave a really short, sure.
Man, Sam said in the reunion that moment had lasted for quite a long time. It wasn't just like an immediate like, oh, here's this crystal and then also here's the ring.
Aussie thought she was being, oh, this is all I'm going to give you.
Yeah,
this is a test. I want to see how you're going to react.
And the thing is, I don't even think this is producer induced. I think that was fully off Aussie's dome.
Aussie thinks they're really funny and cool and smart.
Yeah.
When Aussie's actually on thin
ice. So then Aussie then brings out the engagement ring. And it's like the same colour as the crystal, which I thought was quite a cool touch.
Give me the ring.
And then, Sam says yes, and they're engaged, and they're still together. Apparently. In the reunion. I don't know if this relationship is going to go further. Allegedly, but we'll, have to wait and see.
Sam, release yourself from this bondage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, usually I back a person who's had a really hard time being able to grow and change. I really do, and I see it.
You want to see the journey.
I want it for Aussie more than anything because I think it shouldn't matter what you experienced as a child. You still deserve to live a happy and full life.
I agree.
And it's harder for you than it will be for someone like Sam because they've had the best start in life and it's only upwards from here. You started off a bit lower than her, but you can make your way up that thing, but you really have to surrender yourself to that journey.
Yeah.
And you have to completely understand that, I have work to do within myself. And Sam says she knows she's got work to do.
Yeah.
But you're dragging Sam along with you on that journey, and that's not right. Because you're not even nearly ready to get married.
No, if anything, I really...
Also, how is Sam not scared that you'll have a child with this person and then one day...
they'll just walk out.
Leave you at the hospital holding a baby.
Yeah, I don't know. That must be some deep love, but I wish them the best. I don't know. I wish them the best. But that's all our couples.
That's all the couples.
It was a ride. I wasn't expecting it to be as juicy as the original.
Yeah, it was really entertaining. My one thought overall, having watched this, was if you're coming on this show, accept that your relationship is over.
Fam, why are you on a show called The Ultimatum? It's done.
You have to accept.
You have to.
At the point where you're willing to try or break up, the relationship's done.
The original Ultimatum was only I think it was selling false hope because all those couples were toxic, and the fact that there was a couple that the guy got married to the girl, even that was questionable.
Yeah, we were all like, huh?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't buy this show.
Has any good intentions?
No,
it just wants a drama.
I do. There was something we chatted about last week, and I do agree with you that I think the contestants from the Queer Love series really took the Ultimatum seriously. And actually, even the France one that I watched, I think they took it very seriously. So, I
think that's why it's good TV, because they are genuinely taking it seriously. I feel like they really want to know if at the end of this they will be together or they should be with someone else. Yeah. That being said, you could have answered that question for yourself when you said, should we go on a show where we try to break up and then I get with someone else and potentially I have sex with them and then we try to get back together? What?
A mess.
It's like if you had a partner and they were like, I'm going to Marbella for 2 weeks. And while I'm in Marbella, I'm going to pretend we're not together. And when I get back from Marbella, I'll know whether or not I want to marry you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. It's just crazy. You would never in your real life put up with any of the shenanigans.
Oh, absolutely.
But someone puts a camera in your face and you're like, I'm willing to... I mean, I am married to Lexi right now, so I can't really be thinking about Yoly. Grow up.
It's a mess. What would you rate this?
Ooh, I really enjoyed it. I would say like a 4 out of 5.
I would... Because I don't know what rating I gave the originals, but I found it enjoyable, less so than I did Love is Blind, which I think I gave it 4. So I'll give it 3.5. Yeah, it was really interesting approach to this series. There's a lot of education. There's a lot of really interesting couples.
Just great characters. They're really great characters.
Oh, yeah, they're really great characters, yeah.
Even Aussie and Sam, who were arguably the most boring, still great parallels.
And they bounce really well off the Aussies or the Tiffs or the Lexis of the world. So, yeah. We'll see if it ever comes back, for series 2.
I hope it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what are we watching next week?
I can't remember.
Young, famous and African.
Oh yeah, series 2. So
Everybody get your gelles ready.
get your kentes as well. There's no Ghanaians. There's only
Yes, there is. Fantana.
Oh yeah.
And the biggest dancehall artist in Ghana. I mean, that's not hard. Ghana's not that big a country.
But yeah, we reviewed series 1 a couple of weeks back when we gave you our bonus mini-sode. So we are actually going to review series 2. I'm looking forward to it.
It's an experience. And you guys are going to get to hear your favourite thing in the world, my South African accent. It's back, baby. It's back with a vengeance.
Is that what you messaged me and was like, the accent is coming back? Or so?
No, I messaged you, I said the accent is actually 90% of the way there.
Okay, let's wait and see if it'll be 100 by the time we record.
It won't. Lower your expectations. It's going to be 91% of the way.
I was going to say, will there be my Nigerian accent? Probably not. It's part and parcel of me. Pepe. Because some people are really asking for Pepe this season. Anywho.
Just got to let her tire herself out.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up today. But it's been a lot of love. Some queer. Some not.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I was going with this. I was going to do a nice segue.
Also, guys, happy Pride Month. Like, I want to see the flags. I want to see the gays. I want to see the theys. I want to see the bays in the comments. Like and subscribe. And, guys, seriously, like and subscribe and rate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can rate stuff as well on iTunes and Spotify. 5 stars.
Yeah, drop it down.
If you give us 5 stars,
pick it up slow.
We will send you a personalised message of what we ate for lunch that day.
And on that note, this has been Scripts and Giggles with Shoshana.
And today I actually went to a new restaurant for lunch. I've never been there before. Restaurants are an excessive word. It was a cafe. But they do just meat and carbs, which I don't know if you know this about me, but I think meat and carbs is the best meal. And to hear more about this cafe, like and subscribe and rate. Bye.
And money. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.